I mean, that's why I go to tournaments. At the end of the day, if I know all my friends are going to be there, that's why I want to go, and it's the entertainment that I look for. And I don't know, I've had fun with it. I hope I can provide that for everybody who comes to my events, is that they're able to socialize, they're able to have fun, and play backgammon. Right now, I'm just trying to put on the best events in the U.S. I think I have the best team in the country. We're doing things that are different as far as technology goes. We are trying to just be the best at every turn, from our customer service, our marketing, our registration systems, the way we're displaying brackets, I mean, everything.
It's now one of the top tournaments in the country, and I'm a big, huge fan.
Definitely is one of the best, and now it's got the added money. I think it's really the only tournament with added money in the U.S. now.
I mean, it's a great tournament. There's, well, great directors, great lectures.
It was great last year, and it's going to be great this year.
What's up, everybody? Nick Blasier here. Ben Friesen here. The tournament director has to duck down a little bit, too. We got to get started in a second.
Yeah, gotcha.
But yeah, we've got Matt Cohn-Geier and Chris Trencher here getting ready to play a 9-point match. They're going to play a series of 3 9-point matches, actually, in this Cherry Blossom Classic Super Jackpot. Yeah, okay. I think they're going to... Here we go. Yeah. We're going to play with that overlay a little bit. I want to show you guys the schedule, too, in a second. I'll come back to that. But yeah, this is a $1,200 buy-in event. This is, like I said, a best of 3 9-point matches that we're going to go through. And yeah, it's kicking off the tournament here from Washington, D.C. We've got 5 days of backgammon action coming. It's all Super Jackpot stuff today. We'll be playing this match now, of course, and we'll come back probably around 8 is the scheduled time, so it might be later for the next round of 3. And we're anticipating, I think, it's a maximum field of 16. So we're anticipating some rebuys from people that lost in the first round. This is a second round match that's going right now, actually. But yeah, we're anticipating some potential like re-entries, things like that. And there we go. We got the board cam up too. I'm going to show you that schedule really quick too. We'll pop over there. And yeah, so this is what will be. This is our plan for this schedule here. We have 16 players max, like I talked about, single elimination, 9-point matches, best 2 of 3. So yeah, we're gonna get started any second now with this match. So this first one will be 9 points. As I mentioned, some players might have been eliminated in the first round. This is a second round match, and we're anticipating re-entries. So if that's the case, then we will have a round 2 match after this at 8 p.m., and I think that's what we'll stream. But we're intending to stream 2 matches here either way. But yeah, I'm going to give them the go-ahead, and we're going to get it going with some backgammon here. I should have the XG feed for you, too. And I think we're about good to go and ready to start. Give me 1 second. Check it out. We're about to get going. I think I got the XG feed going here too. This is exciting. Who's all still in the chat here? I get to see that too. Hopefully you're caught up with me. We've got a 6-3 to start. And then a 6-3 to hit. Okay. And then a 1-1 response. For black, okay, yeah, gonna enter, probably split, and then make the 5-point. Looks pretty natural. And then, I need to give you guys some hints too here. Okay, with the racing lead, we're just going to safety up. I think that makes a lot of sense. 4-3, first decision maybe. And for black, with the racing deficit, wants to find contact to the better board too, but what can we do better than this long-term anchor? It releases some freedom behind for Matt and allows him to play some checkers behind, but I think for lack of options, and it's a nice long-term asset. 6-3 with the racing lead, probably just wants to try to escape. Oh, but he does have the option to hit down on the bar point there too. Okay, so he's going to pause to think about that. This is going to leave all entering 2s, 4s, 7s, all these things. So I think it's a bit too much. Yeah, but okay. He's going to go ahead and go with the hitting play. And what do we have from the bar here? 3-3. So we're going to enter with one, and he sees one's coming down from the midpoint for sure. Okay, I guess, yeah, after that, do we want to make a point or hit loose? Yeah, not much else to do there, I don't think. And now Matt is going to fan from the bar. Okay, that's a tough sequence. And do we have enough to think about any sort of cube here? I can see that Chris is still 11 pips down in the race here, so I doubt it. He hasn't rolled yet, though. He does have a double shot with 4s and 2s to hit. 4s and 2s are duplicated to cover. Strong board. Probably needs to do a little bit more and not likely to miss his mark by much. But wow, it is a sizable cube that he misses there. Okay. I think I would have been with him where I would have wanted to wait a roll here, just thinking I don't have enough teeth in this position. But okay, he's going to lose. Well, I don't think he's going to lose his market. I think Matt performs well from the bar here. Gets to hit, send a checker behind structure and cover. And now with 4 checkers back, there's not a whole lot to think about anymore. 4-3. What can this do? It can make a second anchor. We really don't like the play on the other side of the board at all, but I think we can afford things like this now that we have the double anchor established. We can start to make pure plays, and if we get hit, then we have a clear plan in the back game. And Matt just looking for freedom here. Going to enter and hop on out. 2-5. What can this do? He doesn't really have the timing for this game, so it needs to generate it somehow, but this is not the role that's going to help him with it. Just gets to work on his board. 6-4. Again, just looking to come around for safety somehow. I don't think he needs... The board's strong enough that I don't think he's going to want to do aggressive things about, like, slotting the 4-point to build that point or anything. He's just going to have to deal with that liability, I think, the whole way through. 4s is going to... Yeah, I think this wants to transition to a holding game now instead of a double anchor game. Okay, we can see the bot wants something else, but we're kind of close in with the 20-16. But I think this makes a lot of sense because he's only down 36 before the roll. And so what he's thinking is that he doesn't have the timing to hold the double anchor and wants to shift his contact and buy some flexibility. And this is a good close option. I like that too. 2-1, just looking for safe plays, doesn't want to get hit against the strong board. Okay, well found. That's difficult to stack the 7 checker up on the ace point, but finds that the theme here is just safety. Chris just going to roll his position forward. Looks good. 5-4, looking for opportunities to clear safely. Matt is here. And yeah, again, all he's going to do is just find these quiet plays and hope he gets lucky enough to fill in some high points, things like that. Oh, thanks in the chat there. What does the 6-3 here do? Oh, it just runs 1 checker. Yeah, okay. Lots of options there. 2-1 gets lucky enough to fill in the 5-point. That's beautiful. Okay. And that might be a big enough improvement for MCG to start thinking about a cube with this 17-pip racing lead. 11 pips after the roll. Okay. Chris finds the best play again here. And what do we have here? Yeah, with 11-point lead, threatening to hit a shot, something to fill in. We're still a little bit shy on this play. Okay. So he's going to take a roll. Ace-3 can cover. That seems best. We don't want to hit against this strong board, I don't think. I like that. 2 still can't get to safety, so he's going to leave a shot in the outfield with no blot and board now, which is a little bit more threatening. Might be enough of a market loss. I think, yeah, just shuffling checkers around inside, and he's going to save his 6 as well. I think that makes a lot of sense. And now we're only ahead 7 pips, but I think the threat of hitting the outfield's gotten enough more where I'd be thinking about it. Yeah, and we have a small cube for MCG, still an easy take for Chris. And what does he find here? He finds double 3s. Okay, it doesn't hit, but I think this is a different kind of market loser. It's going to clear the midpoint safely and make the next board point. Beautiful shot for him. 2-1. Does Chris want to keep the contact with the 15? My first instinct is no, and so I'd just be shuffling checkers around on the other side of the board, improving our board. Yeah, and he's going to start by making the deuce point. And yeah, he will eventually decide that he doesn't want to leave the additional aces to help him clear that point, to help MCG clear that point. But now he's out of direct range, so MCG could choose to volunteer, but even the fly shots I think aren't worth it. You might be able to clear safety later. He has plenty of time. And he goes ahead and breaks the 2-point behind, too, just thinking this is pure race. It's not contact. I don't need to hit. But the race is close enough that Chris might end up, running in some iterations. So I think, okay, just creeps forward. That's fine. So probably good to keep the board there still. And here I think he's ahead enough in the race that he just wants to clear safely. I like this one. But here we can see that it's close enough that just making the 2-point is worth something, too. 6-2 completes the board, okay. Oh, he's supposed to come out with it. That's bizarre. I would not have found that either. He just makes the automatic play. And what is... Okay, 2 checkers in for Matt. Looks pretty strong. 6-4. Yeah, I guess he could have done it while it was less threatening here before Matt had actually made his board. Maybe it was part of that. Those are interesting tactical opportunities that are easy to miss. Matt just continuing to play safely, trying to win a race. 2-1. If he gets the opportunity to attack, he'll take it, but not unless it's safe. Yeah, we'll see what we do all weekend here, but I'm on live transcription for now. 3-1. This doesn't have... The only safe option is to clear the 5 point. That looks like a little too much. So what can we do with it? We can... I don't want to just volunteer without hitting either, so... I guess the best distribution would be 8-5 and 4-3, but that looks wild. Okay. Wow, we just... Yeah, I guess our only safe play is to stack them up on the ace. Yeah, okay. That makes sense now. Didn't realize we had that space back there, of course. 4-1. Yeah, just... I don't know if we need to save a 6. It's kind of nice to keep the distribution, I feel like. So I'd probably just come into the 5 here. But, of course, if you're trying to stay as long as possible, you think about staying outside. And finds the best play, though. Even the technical stuff Chris tends to be very familiar with. Double 6s, beautiful shot for MCG, of course. Clears safely for now and just trying to fade sets. But Chris might have to leave with a 6 right away. 5-1 can hold his board for one more roll. Hope that he gets a shot sooner than later here. 3-1 is probably going to pick and pass. I think you might win some gammons, and you hope that your opponent just enters on the 6 then, would be my idea. And it's a close option, but apparently just clearing the 5 is very strong too. Yeah, that makes sense. There aren't as many gammons as usual. So you're hoping your opponent rolls a 6 either way, actually. Yeah, you don't gain a 6 with this. That's an interesting argument for not taking him off the board. And of course, you can see by the statistics here that there's very few gammons regardless of what we do. So making aggressive plays, we just want to be safe enough to bring this home. This is just going to come all the way around. And how close is that? He's still down 19 pips in the race. Yeah, this is pretty much dead. And MCG looking like he's going to go to a 2-0 lead to start. Double 6s, okay. And Chris has had enough. Pretty well played match by both so far. Yeah, I think the biggest, I guess maybe on some other ply it wasn't as big of a cube error by Chris missing that double to begin with. And I'm trying to think of what the checker error was. Maybe he missed the opportunity to run once. I didn't realize that was a blunder if it was, but been a pretty good, sharp match so far. 3-6 to open again. This looks familiar. Last time Matt hit in the outfield after this. And he does again. Okay. We're on repeat. 1-5. Oh, is this a dice on checker tournament? We're in the U.S. It ought to be. These are always really tricky to me. I get confused about what we're supposed to do with this. Okay, I kind of like this idea. It's just like maximize, but coming in on the ace and spreading out like that seems like an option too. And we don't like the 24-23 is the big thing with it. Okay, he's going to go for the hit and the point. That looks very good. Double 3s is a monster roll, so a lot of cubes coming there. Maybe this is strong enough, having made the 23 point, to keep the cube off for a little bit. He's going to make the 1.5 point. Very nice. Okay. 5-1 skips the opportunity for a cube. I think that's wise to do too. And yeah, just cleaning up and making the 7 point look strong, come around the bend. And once again, MCG's in one of these positions where if he can just come home safely, he's going to win this a lot. Has a little bit of building to do. So probably going to be making a lot of quiet plays while Chris needs to find some aggression to build his board and maximize contact here. Yeah, this is interesting. I really like his option of just making an outfield point that helps him build the 4 here, but XG also likes spreading out. Unstacking 6-5 is a nice improvement. This is 6-1. Yeah, this feels like the kind of scenario where we probably want to slot even when outboarded, maybe. Wow, I'd be in that blunder territory. And if you play 13-7 to begin with, that seems to be the ace you're going to find. But he can just run for mobility from the 24. He's going to miss it. I don't fault him on that. Seems like a way back in the game. So I like the idea for sure. 6-2 gets to make the 4 point. Beautiful shot for MCG and in clear control of this game now. What can What can Chris do to stay in this game? Is this 3-2 enough? It makes a 4 prime, but it has to give up the midpoint most likely, or it could just make the 3 point. The question is going to be, is he going to take either way? Oh, yeah, this is a little bit safer. It doesn't make a 4 prime, though, so I'm not sure. Maybe we could do something like cover the 5 and then just slot the 3? Yeah, okay. But he's going to cover from the back and step up, and I kind of expect a cube to be coming here. And MCG is going to... Oh, okay, it's actually the decisions on Matt's side. I guess there's some score influence here, but I wasn't sure that I would be taking here either. It seems kind of like a tricky one. And I think Chris going to take pretty quickly, though, with decent structure and blocking structure and an anchor and all these things. So, yeah, well found by him. 2-4 is just going to stack up. Okay. Maybe I don't see a better 4 to use, so sure. But it just looks a little weak. I don't really like creating the stack of 6 either. The 6-1 for Chris doesn't do a whole lot either. He gets to improve his anchor and hop out, okay, and just has to, gets to duplicate 5s with it too. That's pretty nice. And MCG going to hit from the back and try to escape. And leaves 5s from the roof. So he could reduce shots slightly and take away good 5s by advancing 17 to 15. But the 6-4 to unstack is nice for trying to make points behind and improve the board and things like that too. And then we have 1-1. What can this do? It can't hit anything. Can't make another point, but it can at least start the 4. I think that's probably what we're going to go for. Maybe there's tactics that make sense of moving the 17-point checker somewhere. Okay. We're just going to reduce blots and contact. Okay. I like that. He just wants to be able to hop out and maybe make that point. Oh, he didn't actually make this play. 6-5, so we need to... Aces goes like this. And 6-5 is going to hit and come around. Okay. 1-4. Gets to come in and start a point. Sure. 2-6. Gets to make a point behind and only leave indirects with a blot and board. Yeah, that looks like a strong play. Okay. Things progressing nicely for Matt with a 70 pip lead in the race here. But Chris has some decent long-term contact against the midpoint and still a good board. No impurities in structure yet. Gets to roll his structure home nicely here too. 2s could solve a lot of problems for Matt. Do we want to create the 9-point that we might have to clear later here is the question. It does block his opponent from getting a checker mobilized with 6s though. This is probably, I think with the massive racing lead, I'd be more inclined to make a point that's easy to clear later in the 11. So I think I like this better. I don't think we do want to block our opponent. We just end up creating contact for ourselves to have to deal with later. I like that. Looks like a nice play. 5-2. I think we need to get a checker moving from the back, I feel like. My first instinct would be 22 to 17 and figure out the rest, but he doesn't want to miss out the opportunity to have a fly shot in the outfield. Okay, he finds the best of it too. Wow. That's really impressive to me. Not sure what the idea is. There's too much spread out where he doesn't want to be attacked on the ace, so I guess that's part of one thing that's important with that position. 3-1 gets to spread out and threaten 2. Okay. And 5-3, once again, I'm thinking about mobilizing a checker, but maybe we just miss out on indirects. I'm not really sure here. Yeah, I would be thinking bold here, but I guess I'm not respecting the 4-point board and the gammons that might come along. So I'd be finding something like that 22 to 17, which does seem to win quite a few games, but it gives up 30% gammon, so it does win more. Okay. I would be happy to plus this if I had more than my silly laptop here to work with. Yeah. This is a good play, though. Just shuffling around in any way, they all have merit. Small technical preferences for XG, but nothing too big there. 6-4 gets to clear safely. Beautiful roll from Matt. And so this is a huge start for him. Looking quite likely, pending some sort of disaster, to go on to a 4-0 lead. And really, there are some gammons here, too. Just freak racing ones, but not too many. Yeah, we have a bit of it. I guess the 3's coming in, and then our best 4 for distribution. Seems like it would be to the ace. I guess evening out with double 6s to make sure that we don't leave a shot, though, it must be the idea. Yeah, okay. We got to make sure that our sets work when we come in. I like that. in Vilas, North Carolina. Hi, Madison. We have 3 down and 1 in. Yep, just trying to come in, get the checkers in, keep our structure, and be ready for contact should we get so lucky. Matt's just trying to come in and bear off. 6-5, yep. Chris is going to keep maximizing crossovers, come out. Okay, same idea. I think his idea was just to take the perfect 6 in. What did we find? A 6-1 here? Okay. And 4-1 for Chris. Going to play in into the 16, okay. 6-5 still clearing safely for MCG. And a 4-3, probably just coming around the bend. And I don't think there's any immediate shot levers yet. Yep, and none next roll either. Okay. So still threatening some gammons here too. I didn't see how high that is. 5s is going to save a lot of it. I think it's time for Chris to run one of the back checkers around. And yeah, that's going to save enough pips that it's going to be very hard to lose an extra game. And I think you can play 9-4 with the last one and still try to win this on a shot down the road, something like this. Yeah. But we're starting to get into that territory where we want to make sure we use our pips efficiently and don't risk losing a gammon when we had it all but saved with that beautiful roll. Yeah, a little over 5% gammons. Interesting. Okay. What does Chris have here? 4s is probably just going to have to save it. I think we can build our board. I don't know. My instinct would be to just run away. Yeah, I get these wrong a lot, though. There's a big difference between winning almost 5% of games and giving up the 5% of gammons along with it, you know? But it feels just like it's hard to evaluate what 5% of games looks like for me if we win ever when we stay for the contact. But he has immediately shot levers, so I guess that's probably a big part of the logic. Also, this 3-2 maybe plays a little bit differently. I don't know. So has to play safe. Yeah. And the 4-1 can stay one more roll now, but again, the gammon threat. Okay, we're getting really close now, where we can save basically all the gammons. Yeah, the trade-off keeps getting worse and worse. You can see here as more checkers get off. But that's interesting that it was a fairly clear stay with 10, and now getting right on the borderline with 9. So I think if that takes one more checker off, then I guess it'll be a clear run situation. But okay. Chris chooses to just go. I probably would have done that a roll early. Totally understandable. And 4s. Okay. He's going to be happy he ran after that one. Certainly didn't do him a whole lot to be staying back there. 6-1 is just trying to be efficient with pips. Maybe we want to spend the ace to fill in 2-1 for bear off later. Otherwise, pips outside can't be too bad either. These are I don't actually know how to calculate these. It's not clear to me. But okay, he finds the best one. I guess we go through a lot of sequences, but okay, 6-3 takes 2 off. 6-2 is going to save the gammon. And is Chris happy to resign it? Yeah. Only a 3 roll left. Okay. Action, resign, a single game, and off we go to a 4-0 start. Matt Cohn-Geier playing basically a perfect game there, and not too much for mistakes from Chris, too. So very sharp stuff so far. And a 3-6 to open again. So here comes the follow-up 3-6 from Matt. Hey, Rain, thanks for the board. We'll actually be able to see it soon enough. This is going to hit and split, looks like. Thanks, SGS, for the compliments, too, if I didn't say that already. Thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm really excited about all the videos we have for, like, the start of this and stuff. I hope you guys let me know what you thought of that. I liked it. I liked making it. It was a lot of fun. Jason liked making it. He's doing awesome stuff here. 6s is going to cover, and then I guess we just never get to safety when we run from the 22, so I'm not sure, but I guess what else do we have? We could just make the ace or something like this. I'd rather play another one down after we play around to the 10 as well, and just be ready when we're missed, then we're attacking and building very well. Playing behind just looks like a little bit more to deal with somehow, and it doesn't look like less shots. So, I don't know. Plus, I guess our opponent can also make the anchor afterward. Yeah, it should be tempting to make the ace point for lack of options here. After you do that, then I feel more comfortable just popping out 22 to 16 and hoping for the best. It feels very strange to getting this many pips though, and volunteer a direct shot while you're doing it. It's conflicting game plans, right? He wants safety and escape again, so maybe this feels safer in a way. It's gonna take some time to look at it. Oh, thanks on the The transcription. Oh, we got 30 people watching. Awesome. Oh, I see the 35 viewers. Thanks for joining, everybody. Yes, please do like as well. I appreciate that. Okay, understand that play. It'll be interesting to see if that comes out different on ++. Chris punishes, makes the anchor immediately. Matt Cohn-Geier just has 2 checkers dead behind, and that particular 5 wasn't going to hit, by the way, if he found the best play. So 5-1 can just come around the bend. Okay, still working on that race idea. Seems like a strong one. 6-4 is going to start working on board points for Chris. I like that. And Chris just on the back foot in this game again. So far, he hasn't really been an advantage in this match at all yet. Probably going to make a blocking point or a landing point, however you want to look at it. And then the 5's kind of weak behind. Can't do anything with the back checker, but I still think it's the best you have. I don't see why we would choose to like make the point and volunteer here when we have the racing lead. I think it's just a little bit. I guess they're close. Oh, they are very close too. Okay. Good to stop and think about that. That's common in holding games too, where your opponent really doesn't want to give up the anchor anyway, so you can just find something more pure to do. 6-2, I think. What is the race here? He's down 22 before the roll. I still think maybe, I guess we could do something like slot the 5, but I'm tempted to just come down with a 2 and play into the 4 and contain well that way. Yeah. Feels strange to do. Oh, he should slot the bar point. That's a weird one to find. Yeah. I kind of liked his play. 2-1 gets to cover. Okay, nice little roll for Matt. Small improvement there. Yeah, I guess the problem with this play is that it doesn't improve very well. So, for example, here, even though he makes the bar point, it doesn't really look like it's going to develop very naturally. 2-1. Probably wants to step up at least with the ace. Yeah, and no better aces, too, so I think I like this. Maybe stepping up with the 2 would be desirable, but without an ace anywhere else, I think this is probably our best. Chris hoping for a 5 to cover, doesn't get it. So, yeah, what can he do other than hit loose with this? And then the ace is going to slot some other point, I think. Or continue the ace. Okay, that's probably pretty reasonable, yeah. And what is this 5-1 doing? I think it's going to hit, but it can't cover. So I guess maybe the question is, does it need to? I don't think he's enough in the race to play ahead in the race to play safe. Still has a better board. I guess our 5 is pretty bad too after we hit. So I think I'd still play 13-8 with it and just go for it. But yeah, it is a weird play. It's going to take some calculation to figure out what we should do. I think he needs to hit to get the additional board advantage, or the additional race and checkers back advantage. Like, it's just too close otherwise. So we can't afford to pass that up there. All right, 5 enters. What's our best 3? Now that we're down a lot in the race, I'm just slotting somewhere. I guess unstack 6-3. Oh, we could hit, but the checker's currently primed. Probably not primed low enough. So I guess just like 4 to ace is probably a little bit better. I don't know. Look at this, but unstacking the 5 stack is better here and just still sticking with this prime idea a little bit. I think it's more about unstacking than priming most likely, but could be both. 5-3, what is this going to do? It's going to clean up mostly. We don't really have any 3s we like again. These rolls are just kind of awkward for MCG. They're not too bad, but frustrating. I think probably 13-8 and 6-3 with it is probably best still, but okay, we can play 10 and 8-3 and keep the spare on the 6. Yeah, I can see that. Probably a little bit better. Double 3s. That gets to cover. Do we want to hit now? I don't feel like we can do much else productive either, but maybe we just give up the midpoint and keep trying to prime. That could be an idea too. It just feels pretty weak to hit loose. Oh, after we cover, we can make the ace. What am I talking about? Yeah, we should just switch to a blitz, I think. Why not do that? Interesting. We can still go for that priming play, but it just looks, I don't know how I missed it to begin with. But once we see that we can just make the ace and switch to a pure blitz, it seems pretty strong. We get to keep the midpoint to contain. And I'm worried about my opponent rolling like a 4 or 6 that escapes or something like this, or something that gets by my midpoint when I give it up. So yeah, I don't know. But it looks like Chris is going to find this. I guess it threatens to make the 5 prime most effectively is a big piece of it. So that's a nice feature of the play. 6-5. Finding some way to play quiet again with the racing lead. Gets to fill in a point while he does it too. 6-3 does not get to build the way he hoped, but it gets yeah, find some freedom with that checker. And I think being on the 11 point to build again is a very nice spot to be. So sure, he's just going to come around and give up the 4-5, 4-6. No such luck for MCG. I think he at least needs to advance with the ace. Yeah, there's no good 4 after he does that, though. So stepping into it, I think, is fine. Then when our opponent can't hit, we get to escape, you know. So, and Chris, with the trail in the match, is going to pause to think about, do I lose my market after I point on his head, and how often do I do that? Interesting. The flip side of it is that when he misses or hits loose, he's not in great shape. MCG is probably winning. So it's not super clear. It feels like it'd be closer to a 50-50 game, but sometimes at these score deficits when we're not going to have to face a recube, then it can be fine to send these a little more aggressively. And sure enough, we can see at the score that it's good. By these numbers, I can tell that this would be a sizable no double for money. But at the score, it's nearly a blunder not to send it, and Chris going to be a little under-aggressive with the cube again. I think that's his tendency, if anything, with the cube that I've seen too, but totally understandable there too. Feels like not much. It's a very pure score play to go for something like this. But he finds a loose hit, and if Matt misses it, he's going to have lost his market pretty certainly. Ace-6 is a pretty bad miss too. Yeah, so that's going to break a point. And is there any chance this is too good? Having to cover and hit, I don't think so. So I think Chris likely just claim his first point in this match. Pretty clear pass for money too. Just having that 5 prime and already cracking threatens some gammons and things like this too. Very difficult, even with the racing lead for Matt Cohn-Geier, just very difficult to escape that structure and actually cash in on that race. You need an ace first. Guess if your opponent doesn't cover, which happens sometimes, then maybe you have something. But maybe those numbers are making points behind anyway. But yeah, typically you're going to have to advance with an ace and a 6 and escape, and you have to deal with that blot in the outfield, and it's just too much. So, well-found cube action by both. Double and pass. And on we go with the first point for Chris now. Is Akiko playing? No, she's not here in DC. I'm not sure she's ever been to this tournament. She needs to, though. She's welcome as well. 6-2 is going to split to open. MCG on fire in the PR for sure, indeed. Double 5s is going to go for the standard blitz here. And on a fan at normal scores, this is a double and pass. But, okay, we don't have to deal with it. At the leading score, it gets really complicated. Yeah, I'm not sure why he's entering high so quickly, because in all these references positions, we know it's worse to be high because our opponent can blitz us there better. I guess he wants to come in there to make the 11 maybe, or he's going to reduce shots. But yeah, this coming in on the 23 instead makes a lot of sense to me. Seems thematic in this position. But he finds some duplication with this, so I think that's probably part of it. 4-1, oh, now we have the extra checker in the zone too. This is going to be another tricky one on a fan. Oh, and we've got it. So at normal scores, this would be a cube for sure and a strong one and probably still a take. But I think at this lead, I would probably adjust to not sending is my instinct now. And yeah, we're pretty close there. And with that 28-14, yeah, it's actually not far off from a pass at normal scores. But when this mix is like the volatility is mostly in gammons and things like that, and you don't have a ton of wins, you have to be more careful at the leading score because it tends to mean longer games and that your opponent has more opportunities to recube you. And those recubes are going to come extra early at this kind of score line. Redoubles when you're trailing are very aggressive, and you have to pass very aggressively too. Oh, thanks on the live transcription. I'm glad you guys enjoy that. I'm doing my best to keep up with it. I think I'm finally figuring out how to be able to do both at the same time. And I'm remembering to hit the H button for hint too. Remind me if I don't do that. Tell us what you like everything about this too. Oh, resolution seems low, someone says. I think it looks nice over here. Tell me if more people see that. And he does correctly pass up the cube. Well done. Okay. But yeah, give us feedback about the stream. We're going to keep making it better all week. Keep having more of those videos by Jason Blunderblots there too. Gets to anchor and make a point. Oh, what a shot. Double 2s is huge there. But yeah, we're trying to make as good of a stream as can be made here. I'm pretty happy with this and excited to be working. We've been working hard to get this all set up all week. Yep, counter and anchor with an anchor, by the way. That seems like a pretty clear play. It's nice to just be behind the microphone in the transcription spot now, too. And yeah, relatively close race after the double fours, even though he's still down. So we're going to start to consolidate blots and try to hang on to that racing equity on both sides and probably play pretty simple. Though generally in these kind of positions, it can be pretty okay to slot in front of the anchor and tempt him off that way too. We need some purity to make sure we have a board in place in case it comes down to contact. I don't see a lot of volunteering here though. It just looks like good enough to play this way, so I like that. Oh, interesting. Making the ace was an option, but of course the 3-point a better point. Fives is going to put Matt Cohn-Geier in the driver's seat again. He's just going to run around, try to reduce contact the best way he can. Yeah, so he's going to think about, is this easier to clear, since I don't want to make a point that I have to get rid of in the 10 point and have to deal with the mid and the 10. But I think the 10 just helps clear the mid too much, and clearing the 15 is too much harder. Plus this has some blocking value if he rolls double sixes or something like that. So I think we just make the simple play and come all the way around. But yeah, he's hesitating because he doesn't want to have to deal with this 0.6 away with so many pips ahead in the race. He just wants to clear, and that could be difficult to deal with later. 3-1 doesn't do anything too much, just slots the next best point. And with so much left to clean up, I think, yeah, MCG still probably doesn't have any cube here, but if he can get rid of those points, he's doing well. 3-6, what does this do? This doesn't leave a shot already, does it? It can play safe, or it can volunteer now where there's a blot and some cover duplication. That's an idea. I think, yeah, his rolls can get so disastrous next time that I think he's right about this, that it's time to volunteer now. And he correctly finds the pay now. Man, he's playing really accurate. 4-5 is just going to cover and come down, and now he's likely to have some sort of cube just on the threat of cleaning up and making the 20 point with a 30 pip lead, but it's close. I don't think the score is going to impact this too much. Should play a lot like money, but a little shy. I guess his opponent still has takes against that 10 point, even when he does make the 5 point is the issue. So there's just no market loss really here. I think it's just not a cube at normal scores either. 6-4 is pretty weak. It gets to clean up the blot somehow. He wants to play into the 6 with a 2. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Maybe I would have thought playing into the 3 was better somehow, but the spare on the 6 is just worth too much. And he clears from the rear this way too. Chris just going to keep improving his position and threatening to make a longer prime. MCG's threat now is to roll something like a 4-2 and clear both points. Can't do it. And 4-1's going to find some way to play quiet, maybe just off the 8, but I guess if he doesn't, he's thinking about saving a 6 and buying himself more time to clear the 10 safely. Both very close. When we clear the 8, then certain sets must clear a little bit better, like double 5s or something like this. So there's a little bit of merit to each idea. What is Chris has the 6-1, which is going to slot the front and probably make the 7 point and just have a 5 point prime. Why not? Not worried about gammons or anything like this. It's not so far behind in the race, so we don't have to worry about crossovers or wastage or things like that too much. 6-2, a really weak roll. We're going to spend our last 6. We're going to bury a checker 3 to ace. And now with all this destruction behind... Oh, what did I got off on the transcription somehow. Okay, that's fine. It's a little bit different there. But, okay, we're going to play 2 in there. The distribution just a little bit different. 4-3. Oh, he must have cleaned up 3 to 2 with the ace. Okay, that makes sense. 4-3 is just going to clear from the rear because we have to volunteer anyway. That makes a lot of sense. What else can we do? And 4-1. Chris has ideas of splitting that 21 to 20 and playing the amoeba anchor now too, but he gets to improve his board here, so that's okay. MCG's board so weak, and now that he's gotten away with this, is this good enough in the race to just cash? That's the question. I think the contact's low enough that it must be good. I would be inclined to. And the question is the contact good enough for Chris to take this? The race is not, that's for sure, even with all the wastage. That's a tough one. I'd probably be thinking of passing this one either, but wow, look at this. This looks to be a score take, just hoping to get in some contact and a recube. I guess it's probably still a take for money. It's right in the ballpark, but it'd be a lot closer, and this is borderline cubing, huge take at the score. I don't know how to explain that one. It's very difficult to figure out exactly how much the contact is worth in a spot like this, but he sees that he's just going to have trouble clearing that 8 point most of the time still, I guess. And has to clean up the blot to begin with, too. Doesn't always make the 5 points. Okay. I'm going to be very comfortable running off this single anchor, too. 6-5 run around. Okay, the position's looking a little bit different here now. Oh, this could change quite a bit. So yeah, we'll have to clean up this transcription later. Would have been a clear hit the way that I had it set up, but okay. 6-5 misses. And is it time to run yet? He has to break his board as he doesn't, but still has a 5-point board, so I think it's probably still worth staying for one roll. Yeah, for whatever it's worth, I'm slightly off on the transcription, so these numbers probably aren't perfectly accurate for this game. Somehow MCG has lost his 3-point, and I have him with it in my transcription. Played a funny ace somewhere 3-2 when I played it 2-1, I guess. And he's just going to run on this one. Okay. So with the weaker board, it should be more clear to stay for one, I think. But understandable from Chris. Just like when you have to start to break your board, it doesn't seem like that could be the right idea. 6-4 is going to take one off. 5-1 is going to play into the 4. Okay. And what did Matt find there? A 4-3 for 2 off. Okay. 5-5. And 6-1, we got 2 off. 4-4. Oh, Chris is catching up. And so he's going to have, like I said, some pretty aggressive recubes if he can get in the lead. Is he in the lead yet? I'm going to think about this with EPC. Probably not after that roll. And we mostly transpose with the transcription at this point, too. 3-1 is going to take 2 off. And so he's only got 3 rolls in an ideal scenario, but a lot of misses. And MCG with the clear 3 roll. So if Chris can just not miss, he'll win, but he's definitely not a favorite to do so. So it doesn't have a cube yet. Gonna need some help. And MCG can close this out with this set. 6-4, there's our first miss, so he's got to find his way to play doubles best. This gets 3s. Yeah, what else can he do? Most likely we're going to play from the back. No set. And 3s are better for Chris. 4-2, no such luck. And on we go. Another 2 points for MCG, playing a really clean game so far. That was almost a perfect game from Chris that time, and just a little inaccuracy from Matt. Maybe the inaccuracy. Oh, right. It had that. That's probably my fault. He's probably still playing super clean. 5-1. What are we? 3 away, 8 away. Massive lead. So super aggressive cubes coming from Chris's side. Going to be very difficult to find a cube unless we're in a pretty endgame sort of state for MCG. 5-2 just going to split in response even at that trailing score. After the split, nothing better to do. And Matt's attacking already. Okay. Chris on the roof once more. Double 3s can't enter. Ouch. And so this would usually be a pretty strong cube, but I think at the score, yeah, we got to it's not even too good. It's the very interesting thing, right? I think even though it's like a pass at normal scores. But 5-3, you can just, like, the gammons aren't worth enough at the score. He's going to play 2 down with it. Could have played into 3, okay. Gets another fan. And, yeah, he's just so likely to switch from not good enough to too good in a position like this that he's probably just going to keep rolling. I think he has arrived at too good. Going to step up there, okay. 3-2 gets to enter. And what do we have with the 3 other than putting a blot somewhere? I guess we could reduce shots playing 6-3, but when we're missed, this must be better follow-up, so okay. And I still don't think, look at this, we actually landed right in the middle of the window there. But those are so hard to find. I think don't fault MCG at all, just taking a roll always there and figuring it out. 10-6 and anchors up, gonna keep it simple. Make sure he gets to keep his cube. Aces is pretty huge. What do we do with it, though? We'd love to make the prime in front, but we'd also love to anchor and not get blitzed off the board. I'm not sure which one protects us best. After we play 24-23, I guess we're a little more primed as well. Maybe, this is difficult. I'd be quite tempted, but okay, he's going to reduce gammons a little bit with this play. Nice find by Chris. Oh, those are super hard. Double sixes. Okay, another huge joker for Matt. Definitely coming out with 2, and then should he come around or make the prime? Yeah, okay. He was pretty quick to make the 6 prime, and then realizes maybe this is actually easier to bring home if I don't leave a little bit of extra contact with the 15, but ultimately decides he wants the 6 prime. 6-3. Can just slot the next point. I guess playing like this must be fine too. All small stuff. And now MCG is ready to cube. This looks too good. But, wow, somehow this is a double and take at the score? Well, I'm never finding that. But correctly sends it, and Chris going to miss out on that opportunity to take. I don't know why that's a take at all. That's a hard one. Almost 80% wins with some gammons. It just looks dead. But something about the score and the recube big. 2-way, 8-away. Tricky one for sure. 3-2. At this trailing score, I guess you could go for aggressive hits of some sort, right? But he's just going to play quiet and split into this. Very interesting. Okay. Not too far off. And MCG at the leading score, 2-way, 8-away. Still happy to hit. I think that's fine. And what does he find with this? This was 4-2-1, 2-3. There we go. I get it. And we have a 6-4, which is going to enter, and just, yeah, best 6 pops out, keeps the anchor. Always nice to have an anchor at these leading scores to try to play a simple game, not deal with gammons. 3-1. Yeah, this is really interesting. Look at all these options. We can make either 5-point, we can hit, we can clean up the blot by making the 10. Classic backgammon decision. I think once our opponent has an anchor, maybe it's better to have an anchor in a spot like this. So I'd be leaning towards the 10, but yeah, this comes up so often that the offensive point is just so much better. Wow, is this any sort of score influence too? Makes the 10 instead though. Okay, that's finds a very strong candidate there. That could be right at some scores. That's a tricky one. They all just look so strong though. 5-3, what can this do? He's down in the race, so I think he wants to keep the 21 in the additional contact. I don't think he wants to think about it advancing. Why not just have a board point? We can have the first board point in the game. I think that's what I would be doing here. Wow, it is very close to just come off the 21 and make that bar point anchor. It's just so much stronger and never being primed in this position. So our opponent's checkers are just working a little bit harder when we stay back. Nice, interesting find. This wins a little more, just gets gammoned a little more too. Doesn't gammon more himself. 6-3, what is this doing? Can't get anything all the way to safety. So, but slightly ahead in the race. So what are we trying to do with this? Everything looks unattractive though, because we're going to run out into double shots and things like this. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe for lack of options we just go there, but yeah, she actually likes playing behind. That's very interesting. 5-3. Gonna hit and just clean up, play a simple lead in the race, holding game, look for an opportunity to break that 18 point, win another point or 2 if our opponent wants to play on the cube. 5-6, what can this do? It's going to hop straight out again. Okay, interesting. Yeah, the race is closer than I was thinking, so I guess that makes a lot of sense. Wouldn't mind escaping this spot with no anchor. 2-3, okay, dice on checker, couldn't see it. Gonna hit and clean up. Still trying to simplify for Matt, but does increase. I mean, he needs to hit as well to take away, to actually have the racing lead. And so now being clearly down, Chris is going to go for maximum contact by entering a little bit deeper and start a point. 3-1 is a huge improvement for MCG, making the 5-point. And 5-2. We can make a board point and probably just hop out for mobility again. Why not? Any 5, I guess. The 64 is clear. Can also start another. Okay, yeah, the 1380 finds the best of it. I'm not sure why that one. I guess it's more checkers in zone for attacking or making the 20 or the 5 and the 3. 6-3 is going to attack on the 4-point. Yeah, sure. He still has the one-way game plan. And did Chris just? Oh no, Chris misrolled. 1-5 is going to enter and just instantly slots the 3. That makes a lot of sense. Interesting that XG wants to break the 10 point there. Seems a little big here. I don't see enough duplication either. It's a strange play to find. 2 loves to cover. I don't think we need to play so safe that we make the deuce point, but the 6 is not great here. Doesn't feel like a good time to come off the midpoint, but I guess we can kind of get away with things like that. Like when our opponent has a blotting board and we have such a strong board. But yeah, it actually likes the impurity of just playing 8 to deuce here. Very interesting the bot does, and keep all our structure in place. It just feels like a misplaced checker to play it to the 2, so he's going to look for other options. But the ace isn't so comfortable to hit with anyway, I guess. Just creates a liability that we have to cover with a 6 or a 4 next roll, and we might be escaping otherwise. I think, is Chris going to go for the hit here? It's not completely clear, given that he's outboarded, but seems like it since he's down in the race pretty significantly. And he does. 1-6. Matt is no longer ahead in the race, but I don't see much. Maybe he could go for the tempo hit on the deuce. Of course, the default play that he's looking at is just hopping out to the bar, but it feels pretty passive in this position. Right now, your opponent has a blotting board and you have the better board, so maybe we can go for a little bit more. Does seem to have the right idea here. Yeah, so we would win a lot more gammons. It looks like it's probably not worth it at most scores, but closer at a more normal score. But the problem is that he's 2 away, and the benefit of this play is winning gammons, which Chris is going to cancel with the cube a little too often. So nice find there. 5-1. We don't have a lot of 5s we like. Maybe we pop out to the bar and make the 3 point, because it's just like the most efficient use of the checkers. Yeah, okay. Gets the 5 we want moving, doesn't break anything with it, makes a board point with the ace. But it looks provocative when your opponent still has a very strong board, you know, which is scary about it. 4-1 gets to hit and play the only 4 we have around. Looks pretty good. And 4-3 hits from the bar, okay. Great roll for Chris. And now he's on the lead foot. And with a fan from Matt, what would you have? Anything? 2s, is this just going to hit again? It looks pretty loose. I guess I'm not sure I see another option, but this is getting very volatile, and it's going to slow Chris down and make him think about, if I hit here somewhere, and there's a lot of numbers that do that, it could end up being a very gammonish position very quickly. When he misses or fans, maybe he's going to get at gammon anyway as well. And so it could just be the right blend of like swing on the next roll at 2-way where you just need to get the cube in the next roll at this kind of trailing score. It's getting close to it, but you can see even as like a sizable underdog here, given that they both have 19% gammons, almost 20%, that it's not too far off. So reasonable to pause here, and he is going to send it. Okay, so now at the trailing score, he wants to play more aggressive, and easy take for Matt. 6-1. That one's going to hit from the bar, so he's happy after that sequence that he sent it, but we'll see how Matt performs from the bar here. 5-5 looks pretty good. What does it do, though? It can't comfortably hit anything. So he looks like he just wants to play it simple with the race here. Okay, okay. Yeah, reestablishing seems pretty good. And if we do that, then I guess what do we have other than 14-8? Oh, we could still tempo hit on the ace and duplicate some aces. We don't want to let our opponent just attack us on the 5 point, maybe? That's a pretty big benefit. So yeah, we should go for the tempo. Okay. 14-9, not too bad, though. All right, we'll see if Chris can catch this. And he does. So I think 18-16 for sure. And then what is the 3 doing? Does it want to hit again and go for the gammon? I think it seems like a time to go for the throat here. Feels like it must win the most. Probably wins a lot of gammons too. Well, it doesn't actually win the most. Just continuing to the 13 wins the most to go for the race. But yeah, when we get away with this, it's just like so in our favor, I feel like. So I love this play. And we do. Still under some pressure to cover and clean up blots though, but it's pretty massive improvement. So what is 5's going to do? It's going to cover, probably hit loose on the ace too. What else do we have with it? It's a little awkward though, since we just like have to leave direct shots anyway. So I think the cover in the 6-1, and maybe, I guess we could actually play reasonably safe here, huh? Could play around and 2 down. No, we still have to play him in front of that anchor. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm finding some sort of hit here. Yeah, we can just play 16-1 for another cover after that. Okay, that looks pretty strong. All right, so he's chosen that many of them. We'll see. I mean, 10-5 looks fine for cover 2. I don't see a big difference between any of these afterwards, but the checker on the 8's already attacking the blot on the 23 very effectively. So that's placed well. It's just kind of pick him between 11-6 or 10-5 after he plays the first 3 the way he did. First 3 are the ones that look kind of most clear. I guess he must now be thinking about something like 13-8 twice or 6-1 twice. 6-1, just too much work left to do in this game to not play a little more pure than this. 13-8. I don't know. Brings material in the zone, but it disconnects from the back checker when it goes wrong. So I think kind of as like as a safety valve, we like to keep the midpoint for now. Looks like he's leaning heavily towards the best play here. Cool, we're up to 60 people watching. Hi, everybody. I'm watching in the chat. Say hi to me. Hi, Gary. Yeah, so I'm not sure. I guess just some sort of tactics of covering numbers and distribution that he goes with a 10-5. Must be really close stuff. Gets a fan out of it. Super happy to have the cube in time now. And what is this 2-1 going to do? It can hit off the edge. It can switch. I think just making the 8's a little too passive. I think we want to put a second up somehow. So why not? Maybe I just play them both off the 3. I guess 4-2-1 is pretty strong too. When we get hit, we're sad, but it's going to be easier to cover when we kind of shift and cover the ace. And going for the blitz just wins so many gammons. Feels like the idea here. Oh, I'm starting to see you guys have caught up in the chat. I'm on a 3-minute delay here. You're seeing it's crazy that was a take. That was a surprise to me, too. 6-1. Okay. Yeah, so you'll have to give me context if you ask me questions and stuff like that, because I might not be on the same play as you anymore. I'll be 3 minutes behind you. All right, coming home nicely for Chris. Starting, I feel like making the 8 point is the 0.6 away just helps you make that 2 point so well. But maybe actually wants the 7s here to attack as well. And struggling to, he's not like in a big rush to solve the back checker, but it's starting to get where he's running out of time and could have issues if he can't advance it soon. So probably the biggest next step really is to find a deuce or a 6 to get that back checker moving. 2-3 enters. Okay, and Chris, now the priority is hitting loose and not letting him anchor, and the 2-3s, 2s and 6s do that on that side as well as escaping. Okay. Can't really do a whole much with 5-3. That's unfortunate. And so now huge swing on a deuce for MCG. Can't do it. Looking for 6s, 4s, and 2s to hit loose again. So the 4 is going to hit, 3 is going to come in for covers, and we're running out of a little bit of time, but still looking pretty safe for Chris. Look at these PRs are very sharp here. 4-3 is going to fan. And 6-1. I think priority's covering. I don't think we want to step up with the ace. Oh, if we do, though, then we make it so our 5s don't crack, and we don't have 6s that crack anyway. So maybe that is... Look at this. It's so important to get the back checker moving that we should just clean it up and come out. That's a very nice find from Chris. That is a strange play. I'm not sure I've seen that one enough to pull that off over the board. 2-3 is going to enter one. Beautiful shot for MCG.
Oh, that's interesting.
And 6-4. I think this is going to hit loose and advance 18-14. Not too bad. Oh, but he wants to think about the 6-2 switch. Okay. There we go. Hello, half-decent backgammon. We got a fan there. The 4 comes around and the 2 covers. Chris has his closeout, winning a ton of gammons as long as he doesn't run into some disaster on the way home here. 5-4 is a little awkward already. I guess we could just pre-clear the 6 point. Maybe that is the best thing to do with it, since we have to leave 2 checkers on the ace either way, and we're gonna. I mean, we can't play the 4 in and the 5 off because it's just too bad of distribution and too likely to leave long-term shots. But just playing into the aces, play B. Fine too. 4-1 just takes the checker off. Okay. I guess maybe an option to clear, and yeah, it looks like XG actually preferred to clear there too. 5-3 can just clear from the rear. Okay. And we got a fan. 6-5 is going to take 2 checkers off. Okay. 3-2, still fanning. And a couple sets that'll leave shots, but Chris dodges it now, and there's going to be a lot of numbers if MCG is still on the roof. Manages to keep one up there. Chris looking for an ace to fade it. And 4-1. Perfect shot. That should be very many gammons coming now. Very hard to leave a shot from here. MCG is going to enter. Likely just save the backgammon. Maybe he's going to earn himself a couple decisions first. 6-5 takes 2 off.
I like the idea. It might be too fast. So that's why I go deep to like think it through.
5-2. 5 out, 2 in. Okay. 5-2 takes 2 off again. MCG gonna roll a 3-1 and save the backgammon. Okay. All right. So that's a big step in the right direction. Chris gets to the most exciting score line, 4-way 2-way. Hey, Chris. Lucky you. Chris says he's keeping us kibitzers entertained. Thanks for him. I'm on the way between the bathroom and the playing room, so they got to walk by me every time. Nice. Oh, we got someone rooting for Chris. No offense to Matt. Okay. Okay. I think the camera itself isn't high res enough. I look damn sharp, though. That's hilarious because I think I'm sending my camera to the streaming machine over Google Meetings, but like the camera itself is a direct feed. I think it's probably actually lighting, though. I guess I can see probably what you're talking about, that the picture looks a little grainy in ways. I'm not sure what goes on with that. I think we have a pretty nice camera out there, though. Maybe we use the webcam instead. We'll mess with that. I really appreciate that kind of feedback so we can take a look at it. The specifics help a lot, too. I can't wait to keep having more videos, too. It's been so much fun to do that stuff. Most exciting score coming up as Chris walks back.
It's a lot more exciting than 2-way 8-away.
A lot more exciting than 2-way 8-away. Yeah, yeah. For one of you. Ooh, I should go look at that transcription real quick and figure out. I made that mistake in one game. Yeah, I think it was it this one? No, there was one game where they did something and I missed it. One of the many games where MCG was just like playing home safely. We played some ace somewhere. I need to flag it. It's like not actually what he did. Oh, I think it's actually this one, yeah. So he must have played 6-2, 3-2 here. Probably. But okay, I mean, I don't know. I know these guys send him to BMAB. Someone let BMAB know that this is not a perfect transcription. Please. Oh, we got Eric Peterson. Hey, what's up, man? Yep, I've been making coffee for everyone all weekend. I found a roaster down in downtown DC called Dua DC. This is their first American shop, and otherwise all their stores have always been in Jakarta, they said. And they roast all their coffees are Indonesian origin, and they do all the good third wave like light roast stuff too. But it's delicious. I got a couple bags from there. Otherwise, just brewing stuff that I brought along. So, yeah, the coffee game's been nice so far. Oh, I see Chris back at the board. I don't know if Matt was there already. Oh no, Matt's out in the hallway here. Walking by as well. So I think we'll be back at it in just a second here, okay? and get back where I was on the mock 4-3. Yeah, so as I mentioned in my book, this is the most aggressive score, and in a lot of openings, if Chris just has any advantage, he'll be sending the cube very early. Still early takes, but I'm working on a book right now that kind of maps out exactly when that all happens. And it's very interesting. It's like even just like simple split followed by a split kind of plays are still good enough for a cube at this score. So it really is very little that you need. There's a lot of like double fives responses that are still weaker than the opening like pointing roll or something like that. So lots of fast cubes coming in here. What's up, Jason? Oh, cool, cool. They said thanks for that feedback on the low res issue. They're going to swap the camera after this match. Make that nicer. Much appreciated. Only the best for y'all. Yeah, we got nice cameras here. Why don't we use them? All right. So we got a 1-5 to open. So starting with the opening roll for Chris means, I mean, when he's missed here, he's supposed to slot it more aggressively here. And yeah, when he's missed, it will basically always, unless it's some big double, it will be enough for a cube already. And we'll see if he finds that or treats it that way. Yeah, so 3-5, for example. I guess it makes a point, but I think a pointing roll can be enough to keep it off, actually, now that I think about this. Not 100% certain. Oh, look at this. He actually should split. So that tells me that we should still have a cube regardless. This is pretty sharp to even think about this, though. I'm not sure what plus thinks about it at this kind of score line, but this is like the old McGrill days, you know? Like he talked a lot about splitting or playing 2 down with 5-3 instead of making a impure deep point. So you wouldn't think that the time to do that would be the score lead necessarily, but why is the slow down? Think about it. Chris gonna pass that cube up, and he's right. Okay, a little bit shy of it. Not sure. Maybe plus likes it. Makes a huge improvement though, and I think the cube's gonna be coming. Gets to make that 4 prime and split, and I'm not sure what MCG can do to keep the cube off. Maybe that's something. Blitzing roll and point on head. But look at this. Still not enough. And actually, Chris has such an advantage that he should cube it and match should pass already, but he's going to miss that. Understandably so, too. Not something that we're typically thinking about at any other score. 1-6. Gets to just make a point. Sure. Consolidate a little bit. And we see the power of this position now. After he entered and just stuck behind a prime, this doesn't look very playable for MCG. Structure 2 and pure. Chris threatening to make an anchor and prime in that 24 point. Just looks very strong. We'll see if we can find it here now. Justin rooting for more games. Okay. Which is more commentary work for me, I just want to point out. But fair enough. Ooh, Eric's going to send me something from a Venice roaster? That sounds awesome. We'll see what Matt wants to do with this cube here. He's going to let it go. Okay. Well played by him, and on we go to 3-away, 2-away. Still aggressive cubes here, but it's harder to get that second roll kind of stuff in here. So requires a little bit more clear of an advantage. So something like that sequence that we saw in the last game, more clearly not a double if it was at plus. 6-4. Interesting that he wants to run here. Typically, the trailer would want to make the point and threaten Gammon. So I guess Chris just has different ideas about how to navigate this score situation. And I trust, I mean, he's been playing a long time. So when he wants to deviate from the bot, I'm sure he kind of knows and has good reasons for it. 3-1 gets to return fire. Blot hitting contest in the opening. Pretty standard stuff. Probably wants to hit to prevent his opponent from making the 5-point easily, but interesting. He can just split and play 11 to 10. I'm not sure what that's about. There is some score influence here where the hit's worth a little bit less, but wow, does that feel strong to prevent our opponent from making the 5 point so easily. Seems like in general he has pretty good instincts about all these score influences. Definitely a good match from Matt so far. So finds a solid splitting play. 3-2, gets to cover and hit. Yeah, of course. Just natural rolling forward, and as soon as Matt loses a tempo with some sort of super unlucky fan, it'll be a clear cube. Maybe already find a cube here actually with a 2-point threatening a 3-point board. Feels like enough an advantage and enough gammons here to send, and I guess actually looking at the numbers here, it looks like the question could even be on the take pass side. But I think the reduced gammon value is going to be enough to let him still play. What does he want to do here? Oh, he wants to go for the split. Very interesting. I thought for sure I'd be covering the 11. But here we go again. Chris just not wanting to play aggressive with that cube, even though he's going to miss a very sizable one here. I think would have given a difficult decision to Matt there as well. But yeah, I expect this is just like some thought about how he wants to play it, that he's not like completely unaware of score things like this, right? Like, I think he just has different ideas about how it should work. It's very interesting to see different tendencies at the top like this of two very strong, you know, like truly world-class players. 6-5 just going to run around. Yeah, if we're going to run, I think we want to go from the front there and cover the outfield instead of leaving more shots. I like that idea. Cover more ground. Okay, beautiful shot for MCG. Just makes everything, anchor included. So no cubes now that the volatility's gone. 5-1. Okay, can bring a checker into range of covering, sure. The 13-8 for distribution seems great. Too bad we can't do anything about the blot on the 4-point. But yeah, what else then? That seems pretty strong. Doesn't bring that checker on the 11 into direct range. 2-4 isn't going to hit. Not sure what we want to do this. I guess the 11 feels like it does a better job containing, but I guess I don't see any better option, so he's going to shift to the 9. Okay. 5-5 can't escape, can't cover. It's frustrating again. I think it's going to clean up as much as it can and just be happy with the big racing lead he has. And 4-4. It could advance the bar point, but he's down, and yeah, maybe he's not down enough to stay back there, but it is nice to keep the pressure. Yeah, with the block back on the ace, maybe it is. I think my instinct is to stay back on the 22. I'm not sure. Okay, he should advance anyway. The 9-5 seems great. Yeah, what are we going to do with the other two? Okay. I guess that makes a lot of sense. It's a bit of an only play. 3-2. Still can't cover that 4-point. Could switch to the ace now, and he still has a racing lead. So yeah, he's going to use that as an opportunity to step up and try to escape as well. I like that play. It's at least in the ballpark. And then 3-1, Matt's got to try to keep him from escaping. So he's getting loose off the edge and finding some ace. No need to create another blot, so why not advance with it? And Chris is looking to hit from the bar. And if he can't, he's going to be under a lot of pressure of a potential undoubled gammon here from MCG. Yeah, it just doesn't seem like it accomplishes enough. I guess you're happy after you slap the bar and get missed because you might make a 5 prime, but it's just also more blots to deal with when your focus is just covering the board points more than anything. And it leaves a couple extra shots, 2-5 and 1-6. Was Chris's hand injury backgammon related? I'll ask him about it. I mean, presumably. I'm a tad quiet. Okay. We can probably crank the volume on here too. I'll ask about that. We did lower it a little bit because I think my shouting looked high or something like that, but we'll see. We'll check the audio levels in there too. I think we lowered them both a little bit to everything should be even, but okay. Wow, he is going to go for the slotting the bar point. I'm not sure what the idea there is with why he felt like he needed that extra cover or extra blot around. So when he gets hit now, of course, like if he should be so unfortunate to fan, now Chris has a lot more threat in this position with the blot there to shoot at too. 4-6. Okay, in this sequence he gets to cover it, which is kind of nice, but has to volunteer the ace to do it. And wow, Chris is going to pause to think about whether there's enough volatility here. I'm not sure I can tell who's winning, so I wouldn't think so. But oh, it's super close. Wow, that's good instincts here. Again, just doesn't really want to give it up at the score still, but that's a fascinating cube, right on the 50-50 with 20% gammons. I don't know. I get excited about those ones. Can he afford to hit and leave all the shots? The trailing score, it feels like you have to go for it. Maybe even leave less hitting 5-4 or something like that. That's very interesting. But the 6 probably does have to hop the prime. Yeah, it just looks like so many numbers. They're gonna like 5s and 6s from the roof and 2s, and we have 2 blots around, and the outfield is just wide open. Leave that anchor. It's just pretty intuitively very loose. And when you get hit back, you're stuck behind a 5 prime, where when you get away with it, you know, your opponent's probably anchoring a lot. Your blitz doesn't look to have so much teeth, so nice find by Chris, yeah. It's just a little bit more safe to keep the midpoint here. Double 2s, hits back again. Okay. MCG rolling very well in this one, playing really sharp too. Gets the hit, and then the last 2. Guess we probably want to keep it slotted. Don't we have... Oh, he hasn't decided that he actually wants to hit. Ah, I didn't think of this play. Okay. So he can enter and make the 6 prime. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense too. Looks pretty strong. I think we're going to win an undoubled gammon for the match a little too often to pass up. But it is in the ballpark. They're both very close. He tends to catch all the options, which is a good thing. Takes the time to consider alternatives even when he rolls something great that he knows must be strong too. 3s, I think... Interesting. My instinct would not be to reach for the 18 here. It would be to just make a board point. But they're super close. Even though it's impure and it's not the 5 prime anymore, I don't care so much about making them in the order. I just care about my opponent's not getting to anchor up and prevent the gammon. And so it looks like at normal scores it'd be pretty clear to play 8-2 twice. But he's right to focus on the win a little bit much more with having like access to the cube still, and also at the score where his opponent might cube him and things like this. It's a very tricky score play, but he's always considering the right things on these. That's impressive stuff. Camera's fine, just need to do something different with it. Okay. Well, we got our guy, Jason Dordel from Blunderblots on it. Go check out his videos and stuff. He's the one that did the opening thing if you watched it too. And we're going to have a ton more like that. He made the video going through the schedule last night. So I'm so excited to have all this kind of content. We've been doing a lot of player interviews and things like that. All right. Very nice find from him. That's an impressive play to me. 2-5 brings in 1. Would have been fanning after my play, just saying. 5-4. I think probably wants to hit loose from the back still. I don't see anything better. Seems like a lot to give up the prime and shots from the bar to make the 3 or something like that. So why not just play 11-2? Even if we're hit, he's not on the edge of the prime. When he doesn't, we're covering a lot and on our way to the closeout. All right, Chris buys himself a little bit of time. Double 2s again. I guess this is... Oh, it can just come around and cover the back? Yeah, that looks pretty strong. If that's an option, I think we should do it. Wow, 3-1 is a huge response from the bar. Gets the anchor up at the edge, and there go all the gammons. And Chris can even win here with a relatively close race. I'm not sure. It's possible that MCG can cube out in a game like this, though. I'm not sure if he has enough market loss. Maybe hopping to the outfield is fine. Maybe this is too hard to win with the 6 prime. And also, Chris's take point's a little bit higher at 25% at a score like this. And yeah, look at this. This is cash pull. This is a money cash as well. If I knew that, then I can find the cube. But I wasn't sure how disastrous this was with the race so close. But he's going to skip it. Understandable again, a little bit conservative. You know, just being careful at the score. Not to send too potent of a cube and play the match. Or play for the match when he doesn't need to. And okay. Going to step up and go for mobility. When he could have just cleaned up a blot. Okay, they seem very close. We're going to end up too good a lot of the time after this, it seems to be suggesting. Maybe that's what he was thinking with the cube, by the way, too, that he's just too good. Can still win a gammon. Doesn't have any disasters on the way back. And so now, after getting to make the bar point, now he does have problems in some counterplay. And so he should claim here. But we'll see. He might still play on for the gammons. Ah, thanks SJS and the photography stuff. Yeah, we got a photographer here too. So I think we'll figure this all out. Tricky though. I guess he just must be looking for his anti-jokers here and seeing, you know, like how's my opponent going to regain their market? And thinking, should I just play on for the still potentially gammon with the 2 checkers trapped behind a 6 prime? I don't think it is a webcam, Justin, by the way. I think it actually, we got pretty nice cameras here. I wish I could show you the camera on camera, but I mean, yeah. I think we got a bunch of Dimitri's gear, like USB, nice cameras and things like that. And of course, Jason's got all his stuff here. We can definitely do better with this. We'll work on it. I'm relatively low on clock, but MCG has time to spend on this to try to figure it out, so why not think it through first? It's such a, these all, I mean, I guess the why not, if I want to answer my own question, because it's always small. Can't be too bad to claim. Can't be too bad to play on, you know. We know it's, I think the reason we think about it a ton is because we know it's kind of close, or it's confusing that way. That doesn't mean it's important. 68 people watching. Thanks for joining us, y'all. All right, he's finally going to go for the claim. Let's see if Chris can figure out to just let it go. And yep, he does, and we're going to move on to Crawford. We're getting a lot of play out of this one. This is pretty good. All right, 6-2 split again. We've had a lot of those opens. And Matt's going to hit from the 13 point with only 8 in the zone. We don't want to hit again on the ace, so I like that play. 4-3 gets to return fire from the bar. 4-1 is going to try to hit again. Leaves a lot of returns, though, and MCG a little bit on the back foot. 5-3 with the racing lead. Probably enter high and just clean up. 11-8 would be my instinct. Look at this. We should go for something a little looser. Okay, they're all close. 2 up. Yeah. Very close. When our opponent makes one of these points on our head, then we make an anchor a lot of the time. When our opponent does these like aggressive splits like this, the double hit tends to be the right idea. Even though it's 5 blots, I think gammons don't matter at all at this particular Crawford score too, so I love this play. Could make the anchor, but even with that option, this is a little bit better. Chris is going to roll a great shot here that makes the 20 point, and is the best he can do just try to escape after that? And probably just continue on to the 15. Yeah, yeah. For 1 gets to anchor up and start the 5 point. Okay, nice shot. And so MCG with like no risk of gammons really is fairly happy to play this double anchor game at a score like this. 5-4 I think just wants to probably break from the rear. Gets to make a nice point in the 11. I like that. Volunteers a direct 6, but I mean MCG not super ready to go for it. I mean he would hit of course, but there's still a lot of life after that. And now it looks like we're either making the, yeah, I guess the 8 and the 4 might be better than the 5. I kind of like that. Both seem strong. Getting his board ready, though, is the plan. 5s can't clean up the blot on the 10 quite yet, so it looks like it's just going to make the 3 point some way. Yeah, probably both from the midpoint. Okay, I like that play. Oh, he's supposed to slot with it. That's kind of interesting. At least put the checker where you want it. Have it easier to clean up next time. Just rolling forward for MCG. Nice play there. 6-3. It's probably worth it to make the 5 point here. Would it be? We can't play safe, so we could make the bar point or something like that or give up the mid as well, but I imagine we just want the strong board point. Very close, though. We're stuck leaving a direct shot no matter what. It's fine by Chris. 4-6 looks like it's going to get to hit. Oh, it can hit that way. I almost didn't notice. I was thinking the 6 hits right away, but of course, yeah. A little bit better to keep the high anchor. And does Chris fan? Wow, yeah, okay. So MCG looking likely to close this out now. Yeah, I think making another board point looks better than linking up and making the bar, even though we can clear up a blot. And looking for a 6 to put another on the roof and buy him time to get around. Can't do it, though. So probably the 14-point checker is just coming around. I'm not sure why 24 to 23 would be worth something here. That's interesting. Usually we don't like to be interacting with the 8-point this way. So my instinct would be to stay back as well. But maybe we don't have 5s anywhere or something. Some sort of weird tactics going on. Could also just be that 3-ply was wrong. That happens. That's as strong of a computer as I have, though, so I'll be running it on a little bit lower analysis. You guys can tell me if ++ likes something different. Help me out in the chat there. 2 in, 4 cleans up. Okay. Chris just looking for an opportunity to pop out and get away with this, and MCG looking to hit with whatever he can. He can hit on the deuce, so I think he has to, and I don't think he can just let the escape happen with this big of a deficit in the race. He's down 34 before the play. So yeah, I think way too passive to think about 24 to 13 here with so much better of a board. Ooh, we're having webcam. Oh, but he is going to go with the passive play and just try to win this way. Okay. And yeah, with the respite from being attacked, Chris is going to use the opportunity to just run. And if he can get away with this, he's in great shape to win this game. 2-6 is going to hit, though. Probably just play down with it. I don't think he needs to play too safe there to clean up. Maybe he's going to see how far down in the race he is and that he needs to find a little bit more bold play and try to extend that prime. And now things looking great for MCG. 5-1 can extend the prime at the expense of just leaving the ace. 2-1 and 1-1. Indirect ace. Gets another fan. 6-5. Can't make another point. The time to run off the anchor, I'd probably focus on finishing my front structure first, but could be reasonable to just run from the back too. Yeah, I love slotting the back in 11 to 5. I think that's the kind of play I'd find, but we can see 21 to 10 is a very reasonable candidate here as well. Or just 2 out. They're all good ideas. One is to just get this over with and win the race. The other one is to focus on the offense while you have the chance. 3-1 finally enters. Is it worth hitting back from here? I guess we're like so dead if we don't get away with it anyway. Of course, we don't care about gammons. I think you have to go for the 13 to 10. Just seems like the DMP play. When you get a fan, you have a chance to sweep a bunch of blots up, try to step up with an ace. A little bit of hope for Chris. Ace in, but the 6 can't hit anywhere, so it's just going to link 2 blots up and reduce shots, duplicate the ace to hit. And Chris finds an ace. I think hitting is more important than stepping up here. Is it? Maybe it's not. Maybe we just focus on containing 1 checker, because the ace is difficult to come by. But we allow our opponent to potentially roll numbers that close the 6 prime, so I think I'm back to hitting for sure. Decides he wants to play 6-3 with it either way. Interesting. I guess if you step up, then you want to make the 10. So I guess he's also decided he's hitting when he does that. 2 ace. I'm not sure the best way to distribute this, but maybe you want to just anchor on the 24 and slot the back, and now you really need that. That 6 prime's going to be doing good work if you make it. I think I like that. You can also anchor up first, but it's kind of more primed. It's not too bad. It freezes that checker on the 3 points. Makes sure that the bar point doesn't get made in front of you, you know. So I'm not sure it's actually keeping you from being primed by being back here all that much. So the 23 would be an improvement. But I just don't think it's enough better than the 24 to give up slotting the back and maybe having a 6 prime. Okay, looks like he's going to go with that instead. Fine plan, maybe ++ has a different idea. Ace needs to step up. That's for sure. And then the 3, everything stays out of direct range, so why not just 12 to 9 seems fine, I think. 6 to 3 a little bit better, though. Okay. Just trying to reduce shots is what XG is doing there, I'm pretty sure. But they're very close. 4-3 can slot the back and play in. Okay, so now he's ready to slot the back that his opponent's threatening to come out on a 6-2, and well found since, I mean, he's in big trouble and his opponent rolls a 6 either way, so you might as well have the upside of being there and attacking off the edge. 5-1 can't do a whole lot. I guess maybe 10-9 for roll is kind of nice to have, and then 6-1 with it or something like this. But sometimes we need to slot to like counter prime. The 2s are well duplicated. Yeah, I guess I don't mind something like 9-4, 6-5. Would I really do that? Just cleans up in the outfield. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. That's XG's preferred play too. Wow, there's a lot of options there. 4-3. What does this do? This hits off the edge. That's step 1. Then the 3's going to come in to avoid being double hit. Okay. 10-7 should probably be okay there too. Double 3's fans. And once again, MCG back in the driver's seat. Can't cover, can't escape. This is a pretty bad roll. I guess it's just going to make the ace for lack of options. Unless it wants to come in and slot the ace to keep the pure structure. Wow, I'm not sure about that. That's very difficult. Just not a good roll. So either one's going to be okay. I guess the 4 is going to the ace no matter what. And then do we want to cover it and give up our priming potential while reducing shots, or keep it? So he goes for the pure play instead. Okay. Understandable. 2-5 enters high. All right. A lot of life for Chris again. Has to play in. Doesn't want to leave a blot on the ace to have more things sent behind this strong structure. Gets a fan out of MCG, and just a 6 to be clear favorite again. 5-2 gets to make the ace point. That's a nice improvement for Chris. Another fan. 6-5. There he goes. All right. So likely to have a post-Crawford game now. Still some work to do to clear against that 23 point with the gap on the 21 especially. But things are looking good for Chris, for sure. 6-2 is going to make it a little harder to close that out. I think it's never going to be worth leaving a shot here. So 5-3 or 3-1, pretty confusing to me. I don't know. Finds the best fit though, keeps more spares available to make the 4 point. Okay. 5-3, MCG's happy to just run with one. Wow, maybe you should just slot the 2 and try to make that first. But okay, he's got it right. Wow. Oh, he's got a spare in there. Okay. I was thinking he only had 2 back. Yeah, of course. 4-2. Oh, he is going to have this dilemma so many times. Is it? I guess you have to volunteer a shot either way. Yeah, so why not just make the point? No question here. Yeah. When he gets away with it, he's in the driver's seat, but a 5-1 or a 6 for MCG to turn this around. No such luck. 5 gets the slot. And 3 comes around the bend. Yeah, for covers. MCG is going to have his board ready shortly. 3-1 gets to enter, safety up, and I would think you just peel here. But he wants to think about the distribution of 5-4 to have more numbers to play. So we talked about gammons not mattering here. If Chris wins one, all that he'll gain is taking away MCG's free drop at 2 away. So what that means is if MCG like wins the opening roll or loses the opening roll and then Chris doubles, you know, he can let it go and just play a new game, which is just not worth that much, you know. But it's worth something. So it's still like not bad to win a gammon or something here, but he'll mainly play for safety and try to win the game and make sure he gets one further. Usually we're trading similar numbers of gammons in wins when we're making those kinds of decisions. And they're just worth such an asymmetric value here that we're not going to make that trade very often. I'm going to choose safety most of the time. Aces comes around for a cover. Okay, 2-1 gets to close out finally. If he can win a backgammon somehow, that's worth something. Pretty tough to do against one checker back though. Just going to clear from the rear. Yep. Odd on the outside, so 6-5 will leave a shot, but nothing else. So this is pretty good distribution. 5-3, safe for now. Six one enters and gets off the backgammon. Okay. Doesn't want to save that decision. I guess, yeah, we'd probably be wasting crossovers and pips and things to do that, so not really an option. 6-4, 2 perfect crossovers. Still hoping to just turn it around. Doesn't look like it's happening now. But he can still save the gammon in the free drop, so yeah, he's got to play on for that. And he does it. He's going to resign a single game. Doesn't get to take a checker off of this roll, but of course Chris needs at least, 2 more rolls to get off. So we'll just take the no gammon. We'll continue on. Both players playing really clean in this match. Exciting stuff. So we do get to a score where there's one of those free drops available. Chris taking a quick break before we wrap it up, and we'll be back with our last game. This is fun. I'm like standing. I think Jason got some shots of me, so maybe we'll share those later. But for now, we don't have like the actual streaming room that we're gonna have set up later in the week. So I'm just set up with some desks. I mean, this wall right here, just directly behind them is where they're playing in the whole conference room. And so I'm just out in like an open hotel area. And as they exit the room right to my left here, they walk by to go to the restrooms over there, and then they come back. So whenever I'm giving like a recap of what's going on, they're walking by me too. So I hope I'm not giving them too many tips, A7 IV is an exciting camera. Okay. I'll tell Jason about that, see what he thinks of that one. I don't know what we have here. We have something kind of nice, though. 72 people with us in the middle of the day on a Wednesday. Thanks, y'all. 5 p.m. Eastern time right now. So we got 2 more matches between these two, and then I think we're going to have another best of 3 series later on tonight. I don't know if we'll take a dinner break between those. I don't think we have any like officially scheduled breaks in there, so I might just be on the hook to talk forever. I should set up a folder to drop all these transcriptions in too, that we can share with y'all. So pretty much just the one game left to go in this match. Could technically be 2 games. But if it is, it'll be over in a roll for one of them. Organize my office over here a little bit. I see the players going back in. Oh, this is going to mess up our shot if I bring in the camera over here, but okay. I do it anyway. I can move this if I need to. All right, here we go. Back to post-Crawford play. I'll give it a little turn to point it at myself here. The A74 is nice. Okay, maybe I'll have to look it up. I don't know anything about it. 6-2 splits. We get the automatic double. MCG won the opening roll, so he's going to take. This will be our last game of the match. 6-4 gets to hit in the outfield. Okay, nice start for Chris. Finally, MCG the one splitting. And Chris the one hitting. Yeah, and last time Chris chose to play both from the back, but MCG going to find the 13-8 play. They're all very close. 6-3. This can just clean up, but probably hitting's worth a little more. I don't know. Yeah, can't afford to play quiet there, really. But it's getting close at DMP. 2-1's gonna enter, and just with so many checkers back, why not also slot? Probably duplicate a lot of pointing numbers anyway. I think I like that play. To play nice and pure. 4-4. Can point on head to like Okay, can hit and point on head. That looks pretty strong. I'm looking for more pure points, but I think that's going to be our best to prevent the second anchor and everything. And gets to bring another checker into the action too. That seems strong. Could have just worked on escaping. 402 only brings one in, and Chris threatening to point on head again. He's going to continue his blitz and looking likely to blow Matt just off the board here to win this last post-Crawford game. He can close the 5-point out now. Has a lot of numbers to do it. That'll be a big step. Gets that. And Matt will always have the safety outlet of the 24-point, but he doesn't have any progress on the front side, doesn't have the second anchor. The contact's looking a little bit weak here. So Chris just needs to get ammunition in the zone after that, making the 5 points, so I think I like his decision there. And MCG just going to roll an ace up to enter. Would rather come in on the 3 and threaten to make the double anchor game. Chris going to go ahead and make the bar point, but I'm not sure he wants it. I think he just wants distribution to make the 3. Even if he gets hit back, it's not a big deal. So maybe going to miss out on a little bit there, but close ideas we can see, of course, when our opponent enters on the ace. We're happy to have that blocking point. Not a lot for MCG to do here. Down or make the 3, all a bummer. Just don't really like the 5 either way. 4-1. What can Chris do with this one? He can, I guess making the 9-point is a nice point to have when the 3 point's open. Should help us build that. Or he can just work on escaping. Yeah, he can do both. Okay, I like this play. And double 2s. Oh, he gets to make the second anchor. That's beautiful. And he gets to make a board point, too. What a huge shot. Oh, wow, he should actually open up. That's crazy. Some backgammon stuff. Keeps the distribution on the 6 and just wants to get hit and get more timing or something, I guess. I don't know. It's interesting that it wants to break the midpoint. Seems like an overplay to me. So I think I like his play. I would rather just make it, though. And Chris just trying to come around quiet now. 6-4. What does this do? Just gets to cover and slot a point. Yeah, this looks pretty strong. Trying to keep the checkers pure and get ready. And I'm not sure that Chris wants to hit here. I think he's just going to leave that blot there. Not worried about MCG hitting him. I think he can advance and maybe make it a little easier to clear. Would we rather have the 8 than the 9? I guess I'm not really sure. But either way, I think I want to pass up on the hit. He can just clear the 7-point and be one step closer to having all his points in board for bear off. And if he keeps the 9-point, then that's only in contact with the 22 and doesn't have the double contact to the double anchor. So better to just get rid of the 7-point now. It's going to be the hardest point to clear eventually. I'm going to keep dancing around here. Sorry, y'all. I'm not really sorry. Just got to do my thing. Oh, we have a 6-1. Okay, so what did he go with? Yeah, he just brought it into the 5. I think that makes a lot of sense. And we have the 6-1 gets to make the bar and start the 5. Beautiful. 6-5. Can this play safe? Yeah, it can play all the way to the 2, but we could also volunteer and come in 9-4. That looks pretty good. Both reasonable. It's always, as soon as you start getting dead checkers, though, it gets really difficult to clear. So reasonable to start to think about finding bold plays right away, but he's going to get a safe clearing play instead. So there goes the 9. Beautiful shot for Chris. I'm actually not sure why he's not in a hurry. Oh, because he can clear the 7-point, which is more of a problematic point, but the distribution just looks so good. He has to play checkers behind with the other one, so I like that decision. 4-1 can keep rolling forward, and sure, why not slot the bar again? Either way, it's fine. I guess having the 8 points worth something. But we don't really like the gap in structure either. Okay, 5-3 means it transposes, and Chris is ready to start bearing off. 6-1. Matt still has time to keep the anchors. Just going to advance that 8-point now. It's just so likely you're going to give up that 8-point next anyway that it's kind of pointless to keep last time. But here I think we can take one off of the 4, and 6-5 looks like nice distribution. Must be better than stacking up the deuce. Good find for Chris. 5-1. I don't think it needs to leave one of the anchors yet. Why not just play 7-2 and 5-4 and hold? There are, like, what if your opponent rolls a 3-2-1 combo? Now we can lose our double anchor contact, and we have plenty of timing for this for now. So, seems like close on Plus, plus, apparently. I'm surprised by that. So the 5 has to come off, and then which 4? Yeah, probably try to clear from the rear. We should just peel, though. Very interesting. They're very close. Okay. 4-3 can cover and come around. Simple stuff for Matt. 5-4, going to transpose. And double aces. Okay, just advancing out there, waiting for his shot. Might be one of his last chances. What does Chris find? He gets to clear safely. Very nice shot for him. And probably is the blot on the 22 going first, or is he running off the 24? Neither. He's just going to play everything on the offensive side. I think that makes sense. 6-1 gets to clear safely again. Beautiful shot for Chris. And now I think he does want to create 3s, so you'd probably prefer to run from the back. No such luck. Just going to cover and make his full board. Also fine. It's nice to wait 1 roll. Oh, the 5-1, he creates this. Forces a shot. Okay. 3, 6-2, 5-2, 1-2. Quite a few numbers. There's 5-2. Okay. And so he's going to hit, but he's still got work to do. I guess he'll be... It's like not quite double pass territory, I think, right now at normal scores. But it's good. Must be up there. With the gaps in the 4-point instead too, it might be. Yeah, we're actually like 76.5, so now MCG the big favorite after that unfortunate sequence for Chris. And was leading the match for quite a while, got like very close to losing it, and now he's back in the driver's seat again. Crazy game we play. 3s makes it all the way around to the 6-point. Nice shot there. 5-4. Sure, we just need to find some distribution that doesn't leave a shot on double 6s mainly. 3 crossovers to get in. So that should be fine. Plus a spare on the 6 means we have 4 6s to play. 3-1. So we play the 3 down and 6-5. I think we get off the 6s again. Oh, that's another way to do it. We can play 13-12. Yeah. I would have found MCG's play there, I think. 2-2. We like to bring it in. And then when we step 11-9, we like the 6-4 with it too, I think. Well, I'm surprised that we want to play to the 7 there. I would have been thinking about distribution again and that we don't like both our checkers on the 6 and the 5 like this. But I guess we're less worried about it when our opponent's board is so poor and already started to bear off. So I think that's also the reason why you can play him like this and just take a checker off and not worry about leaving shots. This is going to... He's going to leave an extra shot to take the checker off. Yeah, I think he does need to. When his opponent enters, maybe he just needs the extra contact. Maybe that's more important. But Chris gets the hit. Okay. And I think he's back to favorite in this match. And double 2s fans. Wow. What a swing in this one. Double 5s is just gets to take a checker off safely. Wow. Okay. Okay. Chris right back in the driver's seat. That's amazing. That's wild. 3-2 gets to enter and hang out for a shot one more time. Okay. So a little bit of hope, and 6-2 is going to clear. And Matt all but dead. 5-2 is just going to run around. Wow. Chris Trencher saving this one from nowhere. It looks all but over very early on. Just nothing going his way, and finally got enough going in the end of the match to turn it around. And so he'll be taking a 1-0 lead, it does look like, in this best of 3 series that they're playing. And gains a roll. Okay, maybe it's still possible for MCG. I don't know. Aces is going to take a whole bunch off. Yeah, no, not possible. Okay. Action, resign. And there we go. Very well played match by both. PR is probably not perfectly accurate because I missed at least one play with MCG that kind of had some downstream effects. But I imagine they'll take a short break, and we'll be back with match 2 of this series. Or maybe they're going to get right back into it. I don't know. I'm going to get another transcription. Round 2-2. I'm going to call it. Maybe they're going to go right away. I'm not sure. Not sure if we have a dinner break we got to plan around too, but yeah, we got more to go. A whole bunch. All right, we got Jason in the text too. Keeping up with the transcription's easy enough. I promise. Could be the coffee. I doubt it, though. I'm going to poke my head in there and see what we're doing and send you on break for now, but we'll be back with more backgammon quite shortly here. Thanks for tuning in, and like I said, 2 more 9-point matches coming, so stick around. All right. Looks like the players are back at the board, and we're going to get match 2 of this best of 3 series. Chris confidently let me know that he had that one the whole way. There was never any doubt. All right, the 4-2. We're going to open with a point. Nice start for Chris. 4-2 in response to. Okay. Equal start for them both. 6s is a pretty big improvement for Chris. Going to make both bar points. And Matt is going to want to split when he can after this. The 6 is the force part, so I agree with that. And then can we afford to split along with it? I don't know. Oh, it's bad enough that he just has to pass regardless. Okay. Very interesting. We'll see if they figure out the cube action after this one too, but it's a pretty bad 6 that he found, so maybe. Oh, we got a request for the player. Yeah, I'm sure we can figure that out. We've got like layout stuff going on too, so everything's going to get a lot better. Yep. There comes the double, and what does Matt want to do with it? Wow, it's right on the borderline. Yeah, okay. No wonder. I wouldn't have been so sure about this too. It looks like still maybe has time to split. Maybe has work to do to come off that bar point. Doesn't have so many board improvements. And I imagine with the play that he found that Matt's probably planning on playing this one out too. Like he wanted to make sure he wasn't going to get attacked or blown off the board or have big gammon threats, I'm guessing. And this just looks like a way less threatening position to have to play out. So we'll see what he does with it. And he's going to let it go. Okay. Right on the edge. Can't make a mistake either way. Chooses the pass side. And both players play a perfect game. For 1, standard stuff is the split. I'm going to go ahead and go with that. 5-4. I think he just split in response to this one too, but I mean, if you hit, you hit on the ace. I remember that part. I always get confused. He gets the point on head. Beautiful shot in response. So Chris with an early advantage here. 1-6 just going to pop out to the bar right away. Okay. I would have needed a little bit of time to think about that, about maybe tempo hitting, but yep, 6s is going to point on head for sure. And then what do we have with the last 2? Maybe there isn't anything better than turning this into a blitz, sure. This doesn't accomplish enough to run from the back with 1. We're out of enough productive 6s, so I like it. Even though, of course, we'd probably prefer the bar point. And this should be pretty simply too good. Matt under a lot of pressure to anchor, and Chris looking to spread out and close out. So yeah, this ace 6-5 looks very strong. And then just bringing another piece of ammunition in the zone. Maybe running 24-20 is something I would have found there too, because it doesn't feel like it gets us new numbers to attack. But nice find by him. Another fan by Matt. And 4-1 can make another board point. Okay, rolling home nicely for Chris. 5-5 is going to fan. And what does Chris come up with? Can't make another board point. Can't really improve the distribution much, but 9-4 does a little bit, but it's deep, so you can't use it very often for that. So once again, maybe I'm thinking about back checkers, but okay. This must be okay as well. What does he gets another fan out of MCG? This is going to be 16-10 to start, and then we're just going to do our best with, I think all 3 from back. Interesting. Yeah, because I don't want to have to stack anything up on the structure that we have. We don't get any new numbers. Looks like a nice play. 5-6 is going to fan. And undoubled Gammon looking quite likely. 3-1 is a great improvement. 2-3 enters 1. Chris is hitting loose with all 6s, 5s, 7s, 8s. Just making sure that MCG can't make that 23-point anchor and save all those gammons. He can win occasionally from there too if he gets it, so really important for Chris to prevent that. And then any 3, just bring it in direct range to cover. Finds the best with 9-6 too. I'm not sure why not 10-7 for the 6s to cover. All seems the same to me. But he gets a fan out of it. 6-3. Oh, the 6 does cover from where he is. That's why. That makes sense. So covers and continues from the back. Strong stuff. 6-5. Just looking to prevent anti-jokers. However we do that. And yeah, we like this distribution. So I'm surprised again that he finds this 10-5. Because, I mean, I think we like to have the gap. The checkers on the 6 and the 4, the 5 and the 4, something like that when we're bearing in. And safety matters at all. Double 2s can play into the 5, and then what? Yeah, just continuing the ace tends to be like a safe play, but he can do a little bit better clearing from the rear. Okay, interesting. Those are tough ones to find. Going to take 2 off. The bear off is always where the transcription gets most fun. And yeah, when you don't have a spare a little bit higher, clearing from the 5-point tends to be a little bit stronger there too, so I like that play. And is rewarded by leaving a shot. There's 2 on the roof though, so we can just take 2 checkers off. Doesn't need to advance 6-5 to reduce shots. And the 6-3 is going to hit. Okay, a little bit of life for Matt. And I think we're still just playing too good here. But yeah. So Chris is going to pause to evaluate though. Where did we end up now that I've been hit? Tend to swing pretty quickly from, oh, and he's going to claim it instead. Okay, so he's given up quite a bit of value, still 81% favorite and 64% gammons like this too. Easy pass for Matt. He'll be disappointed when he sees that one after the fact, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, MCG still has, we still have a 4-point board, and Matt hasn't made any structure to contain that checker yet, so he could just keep fanning very easily, you know? All right, 3-6 to open. Looks like a split. 5-1 gets the hit on the bar point. Again, from the midpoint when you only have those 8 checkers in the zone. 2-6 gets to return fire. Enters on the deuce and hits from the 24. 2-3 can't hit anything, so I think probably just make it an anchor looks pretty strong. 22-point isn't the best anchor, but early in the game it's nice to have just as like a safety valve, and then you just end up leaving it kind of early too. But Chris gets to make an even better anchor. Interesting option there, and just making the 10-point with the lead in the race. He is likely to have to come off that anchor, run out of timing quickly. And this 3-2, Matt gets to work on his board, slots the next 2 best points. Chris gets to make the best point in his board. And what do we have here? Covers them both too. Okay, so very strong counterplay for Matt, and has plenty of contact to play this out forever. And wow, this is weak enough that I guess Matt's board is too strong to leave the anchor, but so we can see here now that it's just going to be hard to get off that 18, and it's kind of why it was an option earlier to just try to run and make an outfield point instead. 3-2, just simple, waiting, make sure we don't give up our structure, and we're ready to hit. When Chris does have to leave a shot. Okay, we can leave even less shots now leaving the 18, but I think we're still outboarded too much. Well, do we have to leave a shot no matter what? Yeah, we do. So I guess we just come off the 18 then. I don't think we have a better option here. All right, needs to fade 2 and some fly shots, some 8s and 10s. Aces doesn't hit. So now he's got a massive racing lead against a couple checkers back. I would have thought that MCG would want to keep the additional contact here, being how far down in the race he is. Maybe he doesn't have enough to play with this, but he does freeze all those checkers on the 6 points. There could be merit to it, sure. Usually when you're down a lot in the race, you want a bigger area of contact, and so you stay back. But I guess he can end up just being primed here instead, too. It's kind of the problem with it. All right, so he correctly steps up. Nice find by him. 5 ace. It can clean everything up, so why don't we just do that? Can we just play an 11 to 6? Even though it creates a super stack, I think just maximum safety here against a strong board is what makes the most sense. So I think we should just go for that. And 3-1 is just going to keep trying to slot from the back. 4-3 is going to... Ooh, it has to continue the super stack. That's really unfortunate, but... So it's going to be kind of a stiff ride home for Chris. 6-1 gets to slot the front and go for distribution 7 to 6. Sure, yeah, everything still looks intact for MCG there. And to play down and go for distribution 6 to 5. Yeah, that looks pretty nice. Just waiting this out. All right, just simple rolling forward for MCG2. And can Chris make a board point here? Still can't. What can he do with this 4-2? Looks like he has to leave a shot. So he's going to go for the loose hit, but this unfortunately stacks up, so it's a little bit better to just slot from like the point that you want to get the checker off of, it looks like. I guess that doesn't really solve anything. I'm not sure about that. That's interesting. Tough one to find. So he's going to enter for contact and play in, keep the midpoint, and 5-4 gets to cover and play a checker behind. Okay. Getting closer and closer to ready to send that cube. 5-1. I think he's going to find maximum contact plays with so much better of a board here. So I think giving up, yeah, it feels like just one blot on the midpoint is enough. Even if you get hit with the ace, you should get a lot of returns from the roof. And you definitely want to keep the 21 long term, I think. So I like this. But look at this. Wow, it's time to give up the 22-point blot. That really, I guess there is some 4 duplication. I'm surprised by this. This is a very difficult one for me to find. I think I would have found the same as MCG. We just lose too many gammons now that he's made the ace point. That's very interesting. Okay. One of the first clear mistakes that we've seen from MCG. And this is looking like with the threat of the ace that we do have some market loss. We might just clear the midpoint with doubles like a typical 21-point holding game. So I would think the cube would be coming, and I would think that the contact looks good enough for a take. What was what, Chef Henry? Semi-clear pass, yeah, I'm talking about those. What a comeback for Chris for sure. That was a wild first match. He said he had it the whole way. We'll see if we can find a cube here. I guess he does have the match lead to contend with too, but usually with that extra checker back, we just generate enough extra gammons to have threat to send, and he is threatening to send a 4 checker back too. So I like the cube in general on volatility. And it should be pretty clear for normal scores and getting closer to the pass side. But just even at this 2-0 lead, 7 away, 9 away, it's enough to start adjusting a little bit and move it to the other side of the window. Still fairly clear double, fairly clear take. MCG had his mind made up already. And he's going to scoop that one up. 6-1 gets the hidden cover. That was the dream roll for Chris. I don't think he leaves any shots from the bar. Do 4s get there? Or 3s? 3s might get there. 4-1. What is, yeah, sure. Let's bring a checker in. Why not? We want to keep the additional contact back on the 22 for now, I think. 3-2. He can, I don't think he wants to make the 10 point. He's going to, yeah, okay. I wasn't sure if we wanted to bury a checker, if that was worth the pick and pass, but it must win some extra gammons, so okay. Restricts movement for MCG a little bit. 6-5 gets to make the bar point. Beautiful shot. Much closer to home and safely so. 6-1, I think probably pop out to the 14. Seems fun. And Chris looking to dodge 4s, I guess. 3-2 is great. Puts spares on high points and clears the rearmost point. The 53 pip lead in the race. That's going to cut into it, but not enough. Not quite half of it, so he gets to stay on his anchor for sure. Can just play it all from the rear like this. This looks strong to me. Could play a single checker anchor game, but he can also wait to do that, so why not? 6-4 clears safely. And what is Matt going to find here? Going to be forced to go on 6s. 4-1, I think he can just slot the ace. Look at this, he can pop out and like... Not sure why this is better. Seems like it just gives our opponent options. So I would have been thinking to just play the ace, but I guess maybe there is some gammon risk or something like that. And his board's strong enough. Can take a checker off, so we'll go ahead and do that. Even though the distribution's a little bit weak. We just have to bury to the ace otherwise. Simple stuff coming around, slots the ace. 2-1, could hit and cover, but he's just going to take 2 checkers off. Okay, yeah. And 5-3. Probably in and cover, even though it's going to force him off of the 6. I don't think there's any shot levers immediately, but I think we just have to waste too much to play any other way. 4s is just going to clear from the rear. Nice shot. And 2-1 gets to wait around, looking for a 6-1, 5-1, 4-1. Could be the last chance. 3-2 gets to clear. Not worth peeling and going for gammons, just too unlikely, too easy for Matt to save it. So he's going to take the win in hand. 2-1 is going to hop out, spend all the pips making sure he saves the gammon, because there is a little bit of threat here, but not too much. Most likely just another 2 points for Chris. And this is how the last match started in the opposite direction. 2 off for Chris again. 4-4. I guess there could be some wins here. I've never seen it. And he decides, yeah, time to resign. Okay. And off we go to 5-way, 9-way. 9-way, 5-way, sorry, from Matt's perspective. Another sharp match by them both. Other than the 2 good cube, which just tends to be like a big, I don't know, those are difficult to evaluate. It's not, especially if you play a lot of money games. Not used to thinking about those so much. I feel like that's one that gives many strong players trouble, as well as they understand the game, just missing out on 2 good opportunities. 6-5 gets to run. 6-3 gets to cover and split. Beautiful shot for him. And 3-1 can make the 5-point, tends to be stronger than hitting, I think. Yeah. After that, 4-3. Doesn't really have the racing lead, but can just get a checker to safety, so why not come around the bend? I don't see anything more productive than that either. 3s is probably going to make a priming point to give that other checker back on the ace point trouble escaping. Making the 3 is always compelling too. So I guess 2 are coming down to the 10 no matter what. Nice play from him. We'll see if MCG can get up to the edge. He could run with the 3-5, but he's not ahead in the race enough and should just take the board point probably instead. It's an asset, but no, wow, yeah, he misses that chance to hop the prime. That's how important that theme is. Understandable, though. Doesn't feel like he's running to enough of a lead in the race and loses so much ground when he gets hit. 5-1 is going to anchor up and play down, and now he's just Chris with basically full freedom against the 24-point game. Even with the match lead, I don't think he has to slow down in this. This just looks like a dead game. And yeah, at normal scores, this would be a monster pass. It's actually close to the borderline at this score, but still passable for Matt. Understandable there. And 1 step closer for Chris. 4-way, 9-way. 6-2. I wonder how close 13-5 gets at this scoreline. Not quite enough. He's going to go for the splitting play. 4-1. Typically, we like to bring one down after we hit there, I think, but he's got the right idea. Maybe he's score-based, or maybe it's just this particular roll sequence. Of course, hitting important. What is this? The 2-1 gets to hit and hit loose, or enter and hit loose, yeah. Double 5s is going to hit at least 1. Probably point on the head, too. So we get to enter and hit, make the ace point, and then why not hit loose again on the deuce? Yeah. I think we got to put 2 up when we get the chance, right? XG slightly prefers just bringing a checker in the zone. Very interesting. 2-4 gets to enter 2. Okay. And 6s, wow, fans on the 1-point board. And now MCG with the tempo gain here. A little bit of advantage that way. Still not enough to think about the cube at the score. What can 5-2 do? It's going to enter and make a blocking point in the 11. Yeah, that looks pretty strong. Just a piece of structure. Could think about anchoring too, I suppose, but why not? Only 7 checkers in the zone, so not too much worry here. The ace is coming in, and the 6 is not so good. Maybe it just needs to hit loose on the deuce. Otherwise, we come down into a triple shot. Maybe just splitting actually should be better then. He's still ahead in the race, so yeah, I guess getting the back checker moving probably makes the most sense by a long shot. Yeah, okay. Finds the best play there. 4-3. This could anchor, can hit twice. Yeah. I think a bold play, and when we get hit back, we get to make an anchor so often. That seems pretty strong. Match trail, we like to find aggressive plays like this too. Great response from Chris. Hits loose from the roof. 4 back for Matt. He gets to anchor up and attack for that 5-point again now, or make a piece of structure. Yeah, my instinct might have been to hit loose there too, but XG likes a little bit just finally making a point. Still outboarded, still other ways to get through this, right? So, okay, we are entering. We can make the 4-point, looks beautiful, and we can hit. Yeah, that seems like all of them. Okay. And what does MCG come back with? Enters 1. And with the 4-way, 9-way lead, Chris likes to win a cubed gammon here too, but the recube's pretty potent, so I think he's going to have trouble getting a cube in still, but this is the kind of game, if anything, where you might. Thanks, SJS. See you later. Catch up on everything. We're going to have a ton of content all weekend. Double 2s. Does it want to just prevent making the 5-point and hit loose? Probably. Don't see much else than that. And MCG enters. Still has the 2-3 back game. So, yeah, we're not going to... It's reasonably timed. Doesn't have any dead checkers. So we're not going to see any cubes there until we make a lot more progress. Chris starts to make the priming, and also he has liability of the made ace point against the back game, so it's going to be tough for him to get like aggressive cubes in even at the score. 3-2. Well, we could just think about like freedom and spreading out like from the 13 to try to make the bar point or something, but the natural play is just to try to make progress towards home. All right, 3-5. Is going to enter, and what do we have with the 5? Yeah, just don't break your anchor. So we're going to play down. And under a little bit of pressure there. 6-2 gets to run a checker, sure. I guess he could be slotting and things like that too. Yeah, a little bit better to find some loose plays and try to build. Christmas and small opportunities that way. 6-2, yeah, we definitely need mobility from the back, so I love the 22 to 16. And then the loose hit, yeah, why not? What can go wrong? Either you make a point or he escapes. I guess if you're worried about ruining your timing, it could be a problem, but it looks good to me. I think the loose hit is called for here. But he's right that it's kind of close to just run to the 14 and let this game progress naturally instead, not risk messing up your timing. He's currently down 75 pips after this play, so he is a little bit on the borderline of that. So 4-1 probably I like to cover and slot another plane, I think. Just want to build my board as quickly as possible. But we're always balancing that with, do we want to get stuck on the roof against this 4-point board all the way past the point where he's leaving shots while he's clearing safely? It doesn't look so scary here, though. You're not so well primed or anything. You can still mobilize those checkers. Just feels like the right kind of position where we're happy to make aggressive plays to try to make a board as quickly as possible. And, you know, we want to make it when we're missed, and we don't mind being hit because we have a back end. It's okay. Fine play as well. So 5-1, I think. Oh yeah, there is no ace if you enter high, so he's got to do this. Okay. Interesting. And 6-5 can pop another checker out and then continue around. Yeah, that's a good spot for containment too. So I think I like that play. Looks very strong to me. What else do we have? And 6-1 got to make the bar point. That's a huge improvement for Chris. Now he has the threatening priming place. Oh, he wasn't actually supposed to do that, though. That's interesting. I have no idea why popping out would be better there. 3-1 is going to make the bar point. It looks so strong, but I guess it's just that important to escape and not get stuck. Like, these double fours are devastating now. They're going to, like, keep him from escaping. So he was under more cracking pressure than it would seem. Okay, that's a very tricky play to find. Totally understand how he passed that one up. The 13-9 is nice, and the rest of it not so good. We got to figure out which point we want to clear. Interesting. I'm not sure I would have thought of it here. They're both very close, but 8-4 clears a point that's in contact with 2 anchors, where the other one's only in contact with 1. So Chris is going to find that and clear the more difficult point first. 4-3. We're just slotting and trying to build a prime, making the 8-point looks like a valuable asset, so sure, why not? Different ways to do that, I guess. Could have spread out to try to build the bar point faster and cover this hop out, too. And Chris just trying to escape, so seems pretty standard to pop out to the bar there. And with a match trail, is MCG considering a cube here? It's going to hit a lot, but it's hard to see the market loss. So I'm feeling like we're pretty shy, but wow, he's right. He's very close. I didn't realize he's all the way up to 62% already. Loses a lot of gammons when he loses anyway. And wow, I mean, maybe plus even turns this over, but even if it's technically a little early, I feel like this is a very nice find to be aware that you're favored already and knowing that you need to get something aggressive in at the score. Just still looks like he can get stuck behind a prime, so looks like there's a lot of counterplay, but he's going to start by hitting. And is it time to pop out already? Or should he just play down and count on his double anchors? I really don't know what to do here. Premature to run off that anchor. And he gets, oh yeah, all these numbers from the bar that crack now. So 2-6 like this. And maybe this was the sequence where he has this double shot and threatening to send a second back where he would have lost his market already. So I think he's hitting for sure. And the second one, does it want to hit again? Or just come around and try to make the point? Is this even less shots this way? In which do we want to happen here? So otherwise you just work on, so if you continue, you're focusing on making the bar point and priming. When you hit, then you're kind of turning it into a blitz. Both game plans look very reasonable, and yeah, very close stuff. Finds the best of it though, as he tends to do. Gets a fan. All right, and finally a nice looking game for MCG here. Is it better to make the prime now or to make a board point? Probably we get more cracking numbers if we just jump up there, but then we also allow our opponent to occasionally anchor and reduce gammons that way. So, wow, really not sure again. I think I tend to favor just making the points in order and continuing on to the 3. The board points feel more difficult to make. I don't want to let my opponent make the 3-point. All of them have merit. Oh yeah, we can pop out and prime this way too. That looks very strong too. Wow, it's way down on the list to make the 3-point though. Surprised it's so much worse. It only wins, doesn't even win much more gammons, and not having the 5 prime is just, doesn't win as many games. Okay, it's a nice find by him as well. 3-4, we're going to enter, and yeah, okay, we do allow for some numbers like this too that are going to have to crack now and leave even more shots. So this must be the idea of the prime, is just our opponent's position so overrun that we're probably going to win more gammons that way too. 4-3 misses though. And we don't have any tempo hits to buy time to pick that checker up either, so we're probably just finding a simple play from the 18, I would think. All the tactics of exactly where to leave it and how to shuffle the checkers, I'm not really sure about. They're all very close though. Feels reasonable to me. 6-3, does that, it hits. Wow, okay, a little bit of life for Chris. And man, a couple fans, and like, I guess it's possible for Chris to still win the match on this game, you know? 2-5, the 5's not so good. I guess it just has to come around and slot the back, why not? I guess it's not bad at all, yeah. What else do we have other than 14-9? Wow, we should hop out to the bar. It duplicates 2s, creates some 6s as well, and keeps more contact with the 2 blots. Yeah, okay. I would not be looking for this by any means. I guess maybe we give 3s and 2s to attack behind. Why is that a problem? I have no direct covers either. Yeah, I wouldn't be seeking so much contact like this against a fairly strong 4-point board, so this is a pretty nice find. Not sure what the idea is there otherwise, like why this is such an improvement. I guess when your opponent can't clean up, you get more shots and more chances at sending something back, so there is upside too. Maybe we've gained on a roll like this already, I'm not sure. Just bring one of the checkers in somehow. How do we reduce shots? Well, we have better distribution if we play 9 to 5, so maybe I like that a little bit. And it should reduce shots too. Just 5s and aces and no indirects. Yeah, that seems like it. And 5-2 is going to hit. And the 2 can be whatever. Continue and cover the outfield. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. 2-5. Gets to anchor up, but has to crack the board a little bit further. Brutal shot for Chris. Maybe the anchor will save some gammons, but if he sends the third checker back, he's looking pretty bad too. 3-4 is going to hit. And the 4 can, just get in range. Attacking more. He just pops out instead. I don't think the 4 is too important. 1-4 gets to enter and bury another checker. 6-3 is probably looking to slot the back. Complete the prime there. Oh, it can attack and make sure he doesn't get to establish the 22 point. Okay. Yeah, I like that idea. Now that I see it. And what did he rolled some sort of fanning number. Okay. 5-4 can cover it. And I guess we should now that we've slotted it. Doesn't seem worth anything to hit on the ace. What is he thinking about with that? What was that? Is he thinking about clearing it to create a 6 to leave? Oh, that's an interesting idea. He's already looking for trap plays. That could be reasonable. So for that reason, yeah, XG doesn't even want to make the 6 prime yet. Just wants to find a way to trap like that. Okay. So his spidey senses are tingling. Which 3 do we want? Do we want a blot to deal with and threaten breaking the points? And it's always natural to just play from the back, but yeah, there were some reasons to think about playing 4 to ace instead. 2-1. Okay, he's going to open up the 6 trap. Looks like he's ready to with the blot behind. Yeah, looks like a great time for it. I like this play. What is... Oh, he shouldn't, though. Interesting. Okay. The 6 trap. How bad does it look? It's down here. Not too far off. Does it win more gammons? 90.8 to 26. I mean, it looks like a strong candidate. I guess he just wants to make the better board point before the trap might be part of it. It could end up with his opponent establishing a higher anchor or something like this. So, and Chris is wisely going to skip on the hit and just advance his anchor, reinforce his anchor. So now there aren't any traps available. So that idea has passed. Oh, but he should still trap. That's fun. Oh, the 5s, I think we're going to be forced to come out and hit and leave a bunch of shots too. So 6-3, I think probably just brings 2 checkers in. Unless he wants to look for traps again. Doesn't feel it. Feels like the time. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can just make the point. What did I miss here? Did Chris fan somehow? Chris fanned somehow. And now we have it as 6-3 for MCG. Got it. Yeah, my instinct is just to it. But look at this. He should find the trap again with those 2 blots. This is a creative one, too. The idea is that he wants black to roll a 5 and leave all these shots and not be able to clean up. So he's just going to go all the way to the ace. Okay. It seems like our opponent might be able to get into it somehow or, buy some time to escape, But typically it just means you get more checkers back and more gammons. And with this big of a match deficit, you really do want to win a gammon to get back in this thing. 5-2, so I imagine we're going to keep missing traps here, probably. And it's looking better and better as it goes, too, I feel like, as our distribution improves as we bring these checkers in. And we're running out of opportunities to stay back on the 14 to cover. Yep. But, I mean, it's the same idea roll after roll, so it'd be surprising if he found some new idea and decided to go with that instead. It seems like he's made his decision. 4-2 then is likely just going to come into the 6, but I'm guessing bot's going to want to find a way to trap again. Could just make the ace instead, sure. But with less containment in the outfield, it's better to come in now. So it is, the moment's kind of passing too. So now the bot is liking XG's plan. Or is liking Matt's plan. MCG's plan. I get them confused, you know? Yeah, not a ton of value in making the ace point here. I think going for distribution outside makes a lot more sense to me. 6-3, why would we do this? I don't really see the merit of that. I think the 7-5, 6-5 makes a lot of sense to me, or some sort of trap with it would be fine as well. But usually we don't want to just clear the 8. Well, he just wants to keep the prime a little bit longer is kind of part of the idea of this, I think. But when you clear the 8, you put another checker on the 7 and make a hard point to clear even harder to clear, and can get into some distribution issues later. Oh, 3-3, I think. Unless I missed something, I think he played it a little bit illegally there, but same difference. 2-1 is gonna, sure, like this. 4-3 is gonna come around in, okay. I gotta come up with a number that fixes the distribution here. Is it oh, I can't quite, so we'll just do another 3-1. All right, not a lot of gammons in this position. 4-3 is forced to leave. Not a lot of closeouts here either. Oh, there we go. 5 fixes everything. Everything is transposed. It's whatever my transcription error was. 6-3, Chris has got to decide if he stays back, if he can even win when he hits. But he spends all the pips aside efficiently anyway, so yeah, why not do that? Interesting, he should just get out of the way. But I would have been with him where just play to the 7. I guess we can get another crossover maybe? We found like a 4-3 here or something like this, okay. And now 6-1 gets to use all the gammon saving pips. So he's going to go with that roll. 5-2. Wow, 4-2 makes a lot of sense to give yourself 2s too. I'm not sure why 3 days. Maybe more potential gammons with a set or something like that. And he's going to resign a single. Okay. Saves the gammon. Well done. Now we go to 7-away, 4-away. And they're going to take a short break. Exciting stuff so far. I'm going to play with my mic a little bit while we're here. Maybe I'll take a quick break too. Yeah, I think I will set you over there, but we'll be back with the continuation of this match in just a moment, of course. If, of course, to stay alive for a third match, MCG needs to win this one. He's down 1-0 in the match count now. It's a best of 3. So yeah, we'll be back with the conclusion of this match or continuation of this match shortly. All right, we're back here with continuing action from this Cherry Blossom Classic Super Jackpot matchup between Matt Cohn-Geier playing the white checkers on bottom, Chris Trencher playing on top, the black checkers, with a 4-away, 7-away lead. And Chris Trencher won match 1 of this best of 3 series, 9-point matches as well. So Matt Cohn-Geier needs to win this match to stay alive and get on to that third match. So we're going to start back up. I told him to wait a second, so maybe I should tell him to start. We'll go double check. Welcome, JF Dumont. Okay, yeah. We're getting the thumbs up around so we can continue playing. First one was like all Matt, and then Chris pulled it back in the end somehow. This one's kind of been mostly all Chris, but finally MCG with the game going his way. And going to go with this slot with the trailing score again, too. I like the idea. Gets a lot closer when you're behind in the match. I think Chris just going to make a point in response. 3-1 gets to make the point twice. Probably going to split along with it, too. Why not? Get those back checkers moving. Oh, interesting that we could split the other way. I would have thought to split pass, too. I like that. But he does step into harm's way and gets attacked like this as a result. Okay, Chris points on head. And even though Chris has the match lead at 4-away, 7-away, if he can get those back checkers moving, he's still going to have the ability to use the cube, threatening to win the match with a gammon. I think making the bar point here is strongest. Even though I just talked about moving the back checkers, I think that's just too big of an improvement to pass up. 5-3 is going to enter high, and then probably, sure, we can flatten out. Why do we... Doesn't want another checker in the outfield necessarily when he's about to be attacked on the 5-point a lot of the time. So I think I like this idea. And Chris now wants to think about the cube here too again. It feels a little bit too early with Matt's 5-point specifically. It's just too strong. But he is threatening to attack a lot of time. There will be a lot of swing on this roll. And we can see he's a favorite with some gammons, but not quite enough yet. 4-3. I think... Oh, it can split. I love the 13-9 with it to duplicate the 4s that make the anchor and hit. I think that would still be my idea here. Of course, we have a safe 13-6, but yeah, misses out an opportunity to split there, though. Okay. Just not feeling the same pressure to get those back checkers moving, I guess. Okay. 6-1, huge improvement, getting to make the bar point. And what is this? 5-1 is going to stick to that plan of attacking, bring a checker in the zone as well. Love it. Oh, he could actually go for the loose hit, but I thought his play makes a lot of sense, too. And on a fan, now there's a ton of gammon threats, but he still is going to lose a lot of games behind a 4 prime. Maybe at 4-way, 7-way, I would still think about sending this, though. Would I send it at a normal score? I don't know. So probably not going to be more aggressive at this score like this. 5-4 is a beautiful shot to continue the blitzing idea. And now he's just blitzing to buy himself time to split and escape. And gets a fan, and this looks like 2 up against a 4-point board. Ton of gammons here. Usually going to be able to pull this out in time. Looks very scary for Matt to have to play this out too and maybe lose the match on it. So I think I'm starting to like the cube here. And really we have just borderline. This is so interesting. It's probably closer to a pass at a normal score. So MCG, because there's still enough game left, can adjust to playing this out and trying to get there. But I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like given that the gammons are, at least in a logical way, valuable in winning the match, that 45% gammons isn't enough to keep MCG from being able to play this out. But so almost half the time, Chris will continue this game by winning a gammon for the match. But anytime that Matt gets any sort of counterplay here, he's going to send the cube back and put the pressure on right away. So we'll see. Maybe if Chris has to hit loose and leave a shot and board or something like that, it could already be time. I don't think this is going to be a re-cube kind of scenario. Chris has to decide if he wants to prevent the anchor and make the 5-point. The 5-point seems pretty strong here, though. We're certainly upset when our opponent rolls a 2 and makes the 23-point. However, I think it's still worth it. It's not as big of a turnaround as being hit. Gets a fan out of it. Okay, Chris back in the driver's seat to win a gammon here, looking to hit loose and prevent that anchor. Can't do it. Next best thing is to escape from the rear, I think. So I think he should just hop out here, and he can continue to duplicate aces or deuces, or he can just make sure he gets up to the edge. I think the priority is escaping the prime, so I like his play here. And 4-6 fans again. Okay, and now Chris with a ton of freedom. And look at that. MCG actually missed some cubes along the way there. That really surprises me. 4-2. We'll take a look at those maybe. Just needs to get things in range of attacking, but it really doesn't help at all. So maybe I would just be playing from the back, actually, since I have to stack this up somehow. Maybe making the 7 point isn't so bad, though. I don't really know. This just looks very awkward. Oh, yeah, we can play 9-5 to bring another direct attacking there. So that looks pretty nice, too. But, okay. Just going to make the bar point instead. Understandable. 5-4 fans again. What's up next? Double fours is going to switch for sure to prevent the anchor. And what else can it do? It can't move from the back, so it's got to bury some checkers now, too. Okay, he's going to be really upset that he didn't get the checker on the 16 moving somehow. But as long as he can just hop out quickly before Matt enters on the 6 too fast, you know, he'll be fine here. Still plenty of gammons in this position for Chris. I don't think he would send it back. Double ones, gets to get up to the edge of the prime and probably just advance, find a little space. Less cracking numbers like those fours. 5-1 can't enter. And Chris threatening to close this out in just 2 matches. 5-1, yeah, pop out for mobility, and then I guess we can look around for ways for sets to like make points or something like that, but otherwise just moving from the back and trying to get everything in the action. Almost run close. 5-1 is going to fan again, and the 3-1 can't get the 16 around the bend, so I guess we're going to use this on the 13-point checker, and then which ace do we want? Yeah. Once again, I think we're just looking for some tactical reason, some other numbers that work well. This keeps double 2s. Okay. Oh, double 6s gets to enter, and this is going to save a ton of gammons. Great roll for MCG. Sure, making the deuce must be better than slotting the ace, so I think I like his play there. The second 2 are a little bit awkward, though. And 59 pips ahead for Chris. I don't think there are any gammons here for the most part. 3-2 must have to link up somehow. Yeah, this is probably the best he can do with it. And now with okay, not enough. The shot's not a big enough turnaround to send the cube yet, and there aren't as many gammons threatened either, so he's not canceling gammons that way. So he's just going to be taking a roll here. But the contact looking very good, and he needs to get the cube in time for sure. 6-2 can make another board point. Patiently progressing his position, and now it's got some teeth should he hit a shot. Chris really needs to get by on a 5-6 or a set. 6-6 will do it. And that's pretty much going to decide the match. And it looks like Chris is going to move on to the 3rd round with just 2 matches here. Okay. Doing efficient work here. After a bit of a scare in the first match. He insists he was never worried. And what was that, a 2-1? Okay. And a 6-4 now. 6-5, 2 off. Four two just coming around the bend. Yeah, sure. CG trying to organize it as though he might have a chance at rolling a bunch of sets, but it looks pretty unlikely. 6-1 taking 2 off. Oh, that's right. If he saves the gammon that he's still alive. What am I talking about? Okay. This match is not like far from over. Chris probably needs 2 sets to decide it right now. And 6-3, so all these decisions are just maximizing crossovers and efficient usage of pips. And I don't think maybe a 3-1 misses for MCG next time, which would give Chris some sets to win a gammon. 6-4, no such luck. He's going to resign a single game. And on we go to 2 away, 7 away, right? Yeah. Yeah, there we go. All right, so still hope for Matt. It was preemptive. I apologize. And a 6-2 to split to start. So Chris going to have a really hard time finding any cubes at this score line. MCG with any sort of advantage needs to send it. Ace-5, can he think about the double hit here? Still no with 8 in the zone, but at the score line you think about it a little bit more. Double 3s is going to enter, and then I guess probably since we have 3 of them, we make the 5-point most efficiently with that blot on the 11-2, but we could think about hitting and continuing, playing down for a builder. I'm not really sure. It's tricky. We allow a lot of freedom for our opponent to build when we don't hit, so yeah, he's going to go with that version. Okay. It does look a little stiff after making the 5-point, and our opponent's going to have a lot of numbers to make the 5.2 when we don't hit, so I guess there must be a lot of it. Here we can enter and hit back, so going for that. 5-4 cannot hit from the roof. It could hit loose, but we have 2 checkers back to our opponent's 3, so doesn't feel like the idea here. But it is a very close option. Okay. Yeah, this is how much we fight for our high points in the opening. Don't want to just let our opponent have their full roll and make an anchor or anything like that. 4 in is the easy part. What is the 6 going to do? Well, he's on the roof. Maybe it's a good time to hop out, even though we give him 6s from the bar then. And 5-4. Looks like it's going to make the anchor and hit on the bar, most likely. I don't see anything better than that. Everything else is destructive. We want to have that anchor. What is his play B that he's thinking about? Oh, I guess he could enter on the 21 and hit 20 to 15 and send another checker back. This is a pretty close option. Okay, okay. Closer than I was thinking. One option jumped out at me, so I didn't look so hard for it. Ace in and then the 2 gets to hit again. Yeah, we have an anchor now. We're way down in the race. Why not? Just firing away now, trying to survive the melee. 3-6, what can it do? It's just going to make the anchor and hit. 2-1 gets to establish a board point. Okay, a little bit of something for him. First one to make a board point, and Chris, does he have a way to make a board point of his own? He can make the, he can make the 5 or the bar. Probably the 5-point here looks pretty strong. Yep, slightly better board against many checkers back, so things shaping up nicely for Chris, but MCG going to make the most valuable anchor on the board. Oh, but he could hit as well, so he's supposed to do that. Okay, okay. Well, I almost didn't even notice that, but yeah, sends a 3rd checker back and decides he can make an anchor later. 5-4 is going to just pop out to not get another blot in the mix. That makes a lot of sense to me. 4-1. This can hit again and make the blocking point in the 9. Even though it disconnects us from the 4 checkers back, I think it's worth quite a bit against this 21-point anchor. So I like this play. Or 22-point anchor, sorry. 3-2. This gets to enter and try to hit off the edge. Yeah, okay. Better to hit the other checker. I'm not sure why that would be. Very strange. But this position is getting pretty messy. So he's going to enter and hit and go for mobility since he's running out of room on the front and doesn't have the midpoint anymore. Needs that link out there. And I guess that's part of why XG likes just hopping out there too. What do we have here? 1-6 is going to have to enter. And where's our... Yeah, I think we have to hit on the bar. I'm surprised coming out to the 18 so close. It just, I guess seems like infinite shots, but well, when we get missed, we might be able to make some priming structure. So he's just going to go for mobility instead. Okay. I guess that must be the idea, but this is also very many shots, so not sure what he's saying. And now, okay, MCG has decided it's time to pause and think about the cube. Maybe it was coming either way here, because there are many checkers back and a lot of volatility, a lot of gammons in play. It seems like the kind of score cube that you want to get in. You love canceling your opponent's gammons and taking advantage of a very volatile position for him. Still an easy take for Chris, but it has all the characteristics of a nice early score cube for sure. So I like that send there. We get to establish some mid-outfield presence again by making that 18-point and hit. This looks very strong. But he could make the 5-point. I didn't even see that play B. It just seems like it does too many things. But, of course, when making the 5 points an option, we have to consider it. All right. Chris holding the 2 cube, too, means that if he wins this game, he wins the match. So XG needs to pull this one, or XG. I keep I keep calling him XG. MCG. Definitely needs to hang on to have life in this match. It's on the line now. Okay. When in doubt, make the 5 point is what he goes with. 4-3. Looks like it can establish that bar point now that our opponent's left us there. And I guess after that, probably, I think just hitting loose probably reduces shots too. So why not just go for 6-3? Five's gonna fan. Okay. Wow, and now Chris making some progress forward. 6 gets to hit in the outfield, and 5 gets to cover. This is a beautiful shot. And now he's hoping to find this whole attack to escape kind of plan too. He's going to have to find a couple 4s eventually to link up with that 18 point, but very good chances for Chris getting right back in this game. Ace to anchor up is going to buy a lot of life for MCG. That's very nice. 2s is going to make the 4 point. That does look very strong. And then, sure, just shuffle around and try to build more. That looks good as well. Keeps the bar point slotted and threatens to prime. MCG in a ton of trouble in this game. 4-2, I think it's time to start coming off that back anchor and make sure we don't get primed, too. We're running out of space. And then after that, yeah, I need to, I guess, unduplicate the 4 so that we can cover our bar point more often next roll. I like that play. 1-6 only enters 1. And so a little bit of pressure on Chris's position here. Beautiful shot again, though. I think probably best to just link up and make the 13 here. No way to make the bar point. But we get the last back checker going. And 2-5, 2-6, 1-6 all hit from the roof. 6-6, no such luck. And next step for Chris is just to make the bar point. We don't even really need to hit that checker in the outfield. In fact, in this position, we can maybe get away with not doing it. I guess it looks like it represents mobility, so I'm still hitting it. But what I really want to do is make the 7. That feels most important to me. And I'm surprised he's not going for that more quickly. I'm not sure what his other idea is. Maybe just line checkers up to make the deuce or something like that. But yeah, sometimes when you only need a win and you don't need a gammon, you do have to pause to think about whether you want a 5th checker back that might create more contact. But I think it's actually kind of frozen up and taking away mobility here, so it should win more games to hit too, I think. 6-4 just finds freedom. I like that. Well, I'm not sure why you would leave it back on the 18. I like his play. Just don't want to leave anything, any sort of double aces or 2s. Gets a fan. 2-1 can slot the back now. I think having a 6 prime is going to be worth something here. And then the 2 probably just 13 to 11 for me. And he just spreads the checkers out instead. Okay. Yeah, they're all going to be small stuff. And aces establishes a back game. Okay, so a little bit of hope. He's only down 74 pips after the play, so he doesn't have enough timing for this, especially stuck behind the prime. And now we're going to be in a spot where Chris really wishes he owned the 8 point. But given that he doesn't, I think actually putting a checker on it is fine to let him kill prime timing, because I don't see how Matt can win this going forward. Even with his strong front position, he has too much behind a 5 prime. So I think this is one of those scenarios where you want to put one on the back, but look at this. I'm wrong in overplaying it. Okay. And he finds the best here to just try to find simple ways to come home. Part of it could be that match lead too. Five, he's going to slot the front and then, sure, break the 9 point to get maximum covers. That seems strong. 3-1, so if we're playing safe, okay, we can bring the checker in. Yeah, we've got a blotting board too. Why not just bring it in and not create another point to clear? I like this. Looks pretty strong. 4-3. I guess we're just building our board however we can. We're looking for a 6 to hop out and get that 5th checker mobilized from behind off the 23. And what does he find here? Oh, he finds a 4-2. Okay. Finally gets to make the prime, and MCG gets a 4-2 of his own to slot the next point. And the 3-1 is just playing in, I do believe. It could clear a point, though. Is that going to be better? Well, I'm surprised he should leave it on the 7 when that's a point that he wants to clear. I guess he wants to slow down a little bit and allow time for MCG to crack. That makes a lot of sense, too. 10-6, I think, is what I would have found, though. Makes a lot of sense. 2-1 gets to just cover a point. Okay. Delay the inevitable a little bit. Maybe he wants to pause to think about clearing the 6 to maybe keep at least a 4-point board for a little bit longer. Yeah. So he's going to take a look at it since it's so likely he's going to crack. And maybe this is actually going to preserve live checkers by killing 5s for the longest. So it's a good idea. Goes with the board, though. A little bit better. 3-1. Which point is this going to clear next? I guess we can force our opponent to leave on 6s if we clear the 7 right now. So I kind of like that as a trap. But he's going to play everything inside and keep the prime and wait for his opponent to crack a little bit more. Okay. 2-1. Yeah, now it must be time to clear the 6. I'm not really sure why we would play 2-1 along with it. This seems like it keeps the most board and most live checkers the longest. Just play 6-5, 6-4, and we hope to roll 5s later and, you know, slow down. I'm not really sure what they can't, like, why the 2-1 would be any better. The 6-3 either. Just gives us a 5 to play, which I guess if we're worried about our opponent trapping us on a 5 somehow, then do that. But I think we'd rather not have 5s to play, which is why I would leave it there. Okay, 5-4 is basically going to be forced to clear from the rear. And so he keeps that 5 to play. So this would have been so nice to not have to, like, advance to the ace, right? Could have just kept our structure. 2-1 clears perfectly, so that's a nice shot for Chris. Very good structure, gotten MCG to crack a little bit. If we can keep him under a 5, then he's going to crack some more. Gets his wish there, too. Oh, misses a little tactical opportunity there. Okay. So things looking very good for Chris to close this match out now. 5 off, and 2 is basically forced. Don't want to leave a shot. So distribution's a little bad, but it's hard for MCG to capitalize on it with his broken and buried checkers. Double 2s is going to leave a shot. He gets to, you know, yeah, the 6-4 twice is forced, 5-3 is forced, and then which one reduces shots? I mean, I presume just from the rear. Why not? And if he gets away with this, he should be most of the way home. 3s and 4s to hit. 6s, I guess maybe there's some way for MCG to win the race from here. He's going to have to leave one of the anchors for sure, too. Can't just shuffle from the, yeah, probably from the front. Yeah, there we go. I think this just gets the checkers aimed at making high points, you know, get to use our large numbers to come in. Looks like a very strong play. 1-5, so he can just take it off and play 4-3, or he can play the ace first. But I think it improves his distribution to play 4-3, so I think I would do it that way. XG does not have a strong preference because it's so difficult for MCG to win this game, or the match for that matter afterward. Oh, but he goes this way instead. I'm not really sure what numbers he thought he was saving there. I guess he just doesn't want to run out of spares on the outside, but the thing about that is that you can run out of spares on the 3-point as well. 6-2 is going to be forced to hit. And MCG with a 4-point board at least. Step 1 is to hit. Can't do it still. I think he's just going this all from the back checker out to the 15. Yep. Nice play. 5-1 is off from the rear and cover. Okay, big improvement for Chris there. And 3-1. Coming around the bend. And he increases distribution. All right, time to start slotting points for MCG. Hoping to have a 5-point board when the shot comes. And Chris leaves a shot now. So MCG needing to hit this pretty soon. Oh, the 3-4 is the perfect hit too. It's going to hit and cover the 6, and there's still going to be opportunities for a long time for Chris Trencher to roll a 5 and just enter and run. Can't do it quite yet, but a little bit of hope for MCG. He could still achieve a closeout with a whole lot of luck. So I think he just needs to get in range of preventing the back checker from escaping. I would have thought 21-14 did that most effectively, but it looks like small preference to come out to the 17. It is all 3-ply too. Probably changes on plus somehow. So I like his play quite a bit. 5-2, 5-3, 5-4, 5-6. I'll get a direct shot then. I think that would have been my idea there. 2-1 wants to be in direct range too. If he rolls 5-6, I guess we'd rather be hit. And yeah, okay. Now we're gonna at least be back to contain. We don't want him to just escape. 6-5. What's the best way to contain now? Do we want to enter on the 20 and come out to the 18 and just take the shot on this checker now? The problem with this is that when he gets by, then it's done. So it kind of puts everything on this roll here. 5-3 field goal, right? Yeah, right in the center. Okay. MCG needs an ace to stay alive here. And he gets it. Okay. That's going to hit and spread out somehow. Again, just trying to prepare for our opponent to come out on big fives, however we do that. It should be, since they're all indirects anyway, like pretty close. Not too big of a difference. 5-3 gets to hop out to indirect range, and then it'll be looking for like an 11 or higher to get by next time. I don't think the 9 reaches, does it? It does. Okay, from the 17. Yeah, that's right. 9s and 10s hit, and then just advance from the back. 5-1 gets to enter and does not want to create another blot, so I think it's just playing 3-2. And MCG looking to hit loose with a 3. Or the hard way with a 10. An 8. Oh, no. That is a very bad roll for him. So I guess, yeah, we have to stay for maximum contact. We bury another checker and never get to close out now. So I can't see what else we can do. Yeah, just have to bury it and wait. There's no way to hit. Otherwise, we come into direct range and just give him more ways to escape. Priority here is not letting that last checker away. We're sad to not be able to close out anymore, but it's the best we can do. 4-3 is going to run to a single shot one more time. We'll see if MCG can find his ace or not. And he does once more. Okay. Man, he's persistent. Any 5, and Chris is just cruising again. And MCG with an awkward ride home, but some hopes. He's starting to bear off now. Yeah, gets to take the checker off and peel one, and he's going to be happy to volunteer some shots along the way instead of playing safe. Chris, huge roll in the 5-6, huge favorite again. 3s is going to gain some ground, but I don't think enough. Wow, he's a full third in this game. I didn't realize that he had such good winning chances. 3s is going to kill a lot of that, down to almost 10%. 5-4. Yeah, maybe that's a little better for distribution to play the 4 first. But, yeah, okay. No big difference there. And 4-1, Chris finds a miss, but it's not a relevant one yet. It is, though, because it creates aces for the rest of the game, I guess. Creates a safety valve. And 6-4 takes 2 off. Doesn't lose a roll yet. MCG going to need a set either way. But needs that help of the ace, too. One last chance at it. And 5-1. Ace followed by 2s or better. 6-3. Okay, Chris is going to do it and sweep this one 2-0 to move on to the third round. Chris Trencher taking that one out. One of the few players we did get an interview with earlier, too, so we'll have to talk to him. Matt Cohn-Geier knocked out. I don't know if he'll get back in for the restarts. I think it's too late to get back in. But, yeah, we're going to go to a break, and we'll put up some, graphics and information about it. But we should be back with the next round at 8 p.m. at the latest, 90 minutes from now. So we're going to have another best-of-3 matchup of 9 points between some more of these, top-level players in the $1,200 entry. Yeah, super exciting stuff, super fun event, and excited about the stream. We'll keep improving it. We'll work on that camera for you, too. But, yeah, we'll be back with more soon. Congratulations to Chris Trencher advancing, and better luck to MCG and the rest of the tournament. Very well played by both, though. Both of them averaging under a 4, I think, pretty comfortably there. So, top-level backgammon we get to start off this stream and this whole weekend. But, yeah, Nick Blasier here. I'll be back with more soon. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. And short break for now.